and let's see what happens here.
All right, I'll shut up.
Oh, I guess we're just going to skip the intro this time. I think that's what we're going to do.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to be our own intro.
All right, do the music and start walking away. Do 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 do.
On the shadows, bitches.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Thank God I wore pants for this stream.
I'm kind of disappointed. So
In
what's
me?
up, everybody? What is going on? No, not in you.
Okay, good.
Oh, it's one of those incenses where the incense rubbed off and it's just the wood. That's interesting. Yes, hello and welcome, everybody. I see that there are some new friends and fans of the channel here tonight. We have Buddha Nature, we have Faustian, we have Sin, we have Wyatt Coverdale, we have Doc Stivel. I haven't seen Doc Stivel in a little while. Vince Cashmere, Behemoth X is already here. Holy crap! Scarlet Bells is here. What's up, Scarlet? Billy Goat is here. Let's see. Anybody who's a hater? Nope. So far, good. Alpha Draconian is not here yet. I think they were here earlier. So we'll see.
There's Go-Go, and I didn't hear you say Eddie Romanov either.
Well, they probably just arrived, and Eddie just stuck the tip in, so I didn't feel it yet. What's up, Eddie? What is up, Go-Go? What's going on, guys? So yeah, we're a little bit early this time. Like we're early and late at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like this is kind of just on time for us. Like we say 7, but you know it's really just 10.
Well,
depending on what time zone you're in.
You know how it is. You're actually trying to get your audience here and waiting. That way, when you show up, you can actually make an intro. The worst thing is when you like start on time, nobody's here, and you're like, "Hey guys, here's the coolest part of the stream." Okay, never mind. So,
yeah, you want to build a sense of anticipation. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you were going to play that prank that all you youngins do. I smell you now. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, look, the incense is curling around and saying, "Fuck you," as a big question mark. You caused the incense to have a question.
But you know who never says "fuck you" is Jay Sauber with the super chat.
No, he never has.
Thank you very much.
Jay Sauber's awesome. Thank you, brother. He's a big supporter of the community in general. He's a good guy, and you know, he emailed me the other day, and we were talking about just general things, and you know, a very selfless guy, and I appreciate him. Thank you so much, man, and I hope everything's well. Let's see. Almanac 13 has given us the peace sign. Kelly Meadows is here. Hello, happy solstice.
That is one hell of a name that I have not seen before. Do you want to take a crack at that, or should I?
What? Lilu, Lilitu, Lilith, Adart, Lily. I can't do the last part. Lily, Gimelele.
I feel like if you pronounced that right, you would have just cast a spell.
I think so too. I think that's yeah. So that might be many of the names of Lilith actually right there. I'm not sure about the last one, but I believe the others are different ways that Lilith has been named. They can let us know in a comment. That'd be really cool. So yeah.
So I have no idea what we're planning on talking about tonight, other than just general Q&A, and probably was the title just to be cute, or did you?
Just to be cute.
I couldn't tell if there was something that just happened that I'm blissfully unaware of, or
no.
Okay, well,
the
good.
world sucks. It's all in flames, and none of it matters because, you know, we don't really live here. So, I mean, we live here, but we're not really here. We're just observing. We're just observers. We're here to have fun. We're here to make note of it. And when we move on, we get to go back and give it a 1-star rating and be like, don't go. Just don't go. I made the mistake. It was cheap. The graphics are really fucking good, but I'm never going back.
The graphics good. They put a lot of work into the lore. Actual gameplay. Don't know.
Yeah.
It's all microtransactions and pay to win.
To say nothing for the Twinks. Oh my god. And for those who played EverQuest back in the old, whoa, Twink used to mean something different.
No, I am aware.
It's like so many words used to have different meanings, and then all of you rainbow people came and took them over. Fleshy.
Yes, first we started with God's rainbow, and we're coming for everything else.
Damn you!
We
What's that mean?
defeated God and claimed the rainbow for our own.
Oh my goodness. Ah, man. Let's
Uh,
see.
Le-
Maybe it says, God grant you the light in Christmas, which is faith, the warmth of Christmas, which is love, and the radiance of Christmas, which is purity. Oh man, I think we've lost Behemoth X. You know, the eggnog will do that to you. The eggnog will do that to you. You know, I gotta come clean, all right? I've said this before. A lot of people have watched this channel for a long time, and they can get confused sometimes because I wear many of the trappings of some kind of a spooky, edgy motherfucker, and that is true. But I am not an enemy of necessarily... I don't play tribal games as much as possible. I'm not saying it never happens, but I try not to. And I'm not going to shit talk. How do I put this? I'll shit talk Orthodox religion because I think religion's a trap. I think it's an ego trap. I think it's bullshit. But here's where the language sort of is hard because whatever I say can be taken the wrong way. I will not badmouth all iterations of, we'll say, Christian thought. So, for example, Gnosticism. Okay, I've been doing studies on Gnosticism lately, which, you know, to refresh myself, beyond just a little basic overview, there is Luciferian Gnosticism, which equates Jesus to a Lucifer figure, by the way. So there isn't, you know, necessarily everything wrong. What is wrong, in my opinion, if I was going to give an opinion that was making judgments, is that Christianity in the Orthodox sense, the you know, we'll say authoritarian sense, is, well, if I was a Gnostic, I would say they serve the demiurge 100%. That's what I would say. And that the real Jesus, you know, figure was there to liberate mankind from the old system and not create a new system that is 10 times more, we'll say, manipulative and controlling than any of the old ones were. So I believe that if Jesus actually ever existed, he would come back and beat the living death out of the church that took his name and murdered people for a long time. So
I love that image that's gone around of you know, Jesus sitting around talking to his disciples, saying, "You must love and respect everybody and do not judge." But what if they practice a different religion? What if they look different than us? Okay, so I'm going to repeat what I just said and tell me when I lose you.
Right? And here's one of my favorite ones, okay? I have a rule. Anything that demands my worship is bad. Right? It's a simple rule. Anything that commands me to worship, demands me to... Commands, demands, or otherwise coerces me into worship is bad. That includes any version of Satan that you go, I must worship Satan and I must bow before him. Nope, you're no better than a Christian. But here's the deal. I challenge you in any edition of the Bible to find where Jesus says, worship me, or anything of that sort. Jesus accepted worship. Yes, absolutely did. But when he did, it was in a very humble and gracious manner, just as if you would if somebody offered you some kind of a wonderful gift. It was never, you had better do this, or anything of the sort. Now, I'm not trying to be a proponent of Christianity per se. That is not what I'm doing. That gets you in a lot of trouble in occult circles. I'm going to get some downvotes just for being nice about it as I am. I get hate mail when I don't curse Christians with everybody else because I don't see it like that. So Billy Goat's challenging me. I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe somewhere in some edition of Christianity exists that says worship me, but I haven't found it. If it's out there, that's great. I don't believe Jesus even existed in the first place. All right. I don't think the individual person ever lived. I think that it was a creation by the Romans to subjugate the Jews at the time into worshiping Caesar as the Son of God. That's my opinion. You could look it up. It's called Caesar's Messiah. It's a really good documentary. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm saying I think it's the right direction. I think they've got the right perspective, personally. So my suggestion is really simple. Leave no stone unturned. Open up your Bible, read it again. This time not in a position of, I must destroy the whole thing because Satan said so. I mean, open it up and see where it resonates with bigger, better metaphysical ideology. See what matches. And then ask yourself, is it likely or possible that this orthodox religion somehow took what might have been and turned it into an authoritarian system to control your spirit and your soul and your mind? Think it through instead of just being tribal about it. I'm not saying be friendly with the church, the organization. I'm not saying that. I will never set foot in a church happily again. That's not my thing. I'm not saying that I'll throw a firebomb at it. I'm just
unless nobody's there, because it's kind of cool to hang out in churches.
Oh, no, I will totally buy an abandoned church or some shit. Oh, hell yeah. What I mean is I will never go and participate in a church function unless family is like, you must come for my child because otherwise I'm disowning you as a friend and family. Okay, that's different. I'm not going
I'm going to wear my Slayer t-shirt when I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll be wearing my upside down pentagram, deal with it.
Or this. That would actually be even more fun.
That would definitely do it. That would definitely do it. So, Christianity, there's so many things we could say about it, but you have to recognize that Christianity is an amalgamation. It is a created mythology. It is, look, they burned the Library of Alexandria for a reason. That's all I'm going to say. The stuff that was lost, that was there, once spoke of things that completely and utterly were destroying what was to become the Christian church later on. So what I'm saying to you is, I've decided on a new title for myself. I'm taking this title. It's mine. I think you should take it too. I have decided that I am a heretic of every religion. I am a heretic of every belief.
Hold on. Somebody play the slow heavy metal music.
Yes. Give me the dun, 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 dun. I'm a fucking heretic. That means if you have a strong belief, there's a good chance that I'm going to come along and abuse you just for fun. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But I'm absolutely a heretic. A Satanist thinks I'm this. A Christian thinks I'm that. A non-dualist thinks I'm this. No one's going to have me right. And it's not because I'm just difficult. It's because I see you. I see these mainline religions. I see these orthodoxies. I see them when they form. I see them when they form in the little cultures. I see them in the occult community. Oh, E.A. Coetting said this about this spirit, and therefore anyone who says something different is a heretic and not really a demonolator. You know, E.A. Coetting himself would tell you not to think that.
Oh no, you think Lord Paimon's color is blue.
Right?
How
exactly.
mistaken you are, for the great E.A. Coetting says it is sapphire.
Amen, brother. Because that is what I got when I first started putting out certain Luciferian symbols. One person says, Lucifer has been my family patron for 400 years, and I say it's blue, and so therefore it's blue. Okay. Mm-hmm. His sigil, the Lucifer and Asia symbol. All right, so to you it's blue. I mean, it was black in the book, but whatever. So yeah. I think that people, especially now, as we reach through this awakening period that's going on in our civilization, where not everyone's going to make it. The Great Awakening isn't for everybody. It's just for a few. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be elitist about it, but it's true. Those of us who are going to be going on to the other side of that, the only way we get there is if we leave no stone unturned and we recognize that we are all heretics to someone. And you own that shit. You own it. I should change the title of the book I'm working on. Forget Awakening the Avatar of Chaos. I should be like, heretic, just big bold letters. And just... All right, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. I'm done. I see people
I
friggin'
was actually
unsubbing
going to
right
bring
now.
up one comment we got that's on topic with that tangent, but
Okay.
first, really quick, Eddie Romanov says, "Yes, we're bringing back the Hellfire Club. We're
Oh,
chasing
yeah.
hookers around the catacombs and staging orgies in the convent. I am in." And we're going to totally gay it up just to piss them off and make it extra fabulous. Satanic Panic at the Disco, bitches.
I mean, I'll show up and maybe record some of it, but I'm happily married, so I'll just watch. It's not really my thing.
I mean, hey, you can be married and polyamory. Never
I'm
mind.
not a poly though.
This isn't.
That's not my game though. I
Yeah,
don't do
I'm
that.
sorry. I know, and I'm sorry I even brought it up. Like, this is not the time.
Don't monogamy shame me, bro. Like, what the hell?
I'm not. I was just okay. We're actually moving on. So on that topic.
I feel insulted for my beliefs. Like I have power over you now.
Oh,
you know, I'm gonna put
off.
some more jewelry on. Where's my necklace? What do I got? Do I got anything good? Keep talking.
So on that topic, Wyatt Coverdale says, "Gnosis in the things that." Hold on. Oops, sorry. Read from the wrong comment. In my opinion, it's best if we don't focus on Judaism or Christianity whatsoever. It's a broken and watered down amalgamation of nonsense. Although it has things in there, it's easier to find gnosis in the things that those religions borrowed from. It's just a bunch of broken wisdom and at least a distraction."
There is something to that, although I would argue that you shouldn't ignore it because then it becomes a shadow. I suggest that you do study it, especially, the apocryphal and heretical works. If you are only limiting yourself to the orthodoxy, the doctrinal religion, you're setting yourself up to be, and this goes for every religion, every belief system, even non-duality, you're setting yourself up for a fall, a really bad one. This is why I refrain from ever calling myself that I am a fucking Advaitin or something like that. I'm not a Hindu. I will never be that. I'm not a Zen monk. I am not a Hermeticist. I'm not a Gnostic. I'm none of these things. When I say that I'm a non-dualist, I mean in the categorical monist sense. I don't mean in the religious sense. That people go, Thorne, you're always talking about non-duality. Does that mean that you really, do you pray to Shiva or something? I go, no. No. See, that's not a religion for me. I had an awakening experience where I recognized what I was. Like someone who did a heroic dose, I just didn't need the dose.
You're like the person of like, I fucking love hockey. Oh, so that means you support the NHL? No, right. I'm not in the NHL. I just love hockey.
Or like I love my guns. Oh, you support this the NRA? Actually, no, I'm a Gun Owners of America type of guy. But what can I say? NRA sucks. That's if you're a gun owner, NRA sucks. But yeah, good example. The NHL thing, good example. So yeah.
So we had a question. Hold on, that's right. I have it written over here from Taylor Gang. Asks, DH, would you say Citri from the Goetia is an unpredictable demon when you tell it to do something for you?
Never worked with Citri, so I don't know. That's simple. Never worked with Citri. I don't do Pokemon. I've worked with several spirits from the Goetia. Yes, I've worked with several spirits from outside the Goetia. I've channeled new spirits that nobody's heard of, so to speak. I don't work with the Goetia that heavily. Goetia's interesting. There's things I like about it, but once you recognize that the vast majority of those spirits are just Christian shadow interpretations of folklore and gods from other cultures, you can probably go a little further by exploring the pagan origins of those spirits. And now I don't know which one Citri would be. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to do more research on it. But I sort of lost interest in. So here's the thing. People get all excited about the Goetia because of the word demon. Quite frankly.
Yeah. If it was called anything else, can you imagine how unprinted this book would be?
By comparison, I think you're right. If you called it the 72 Jinn, it wouldn't be as big a deal. At least in Western culture. It would be far less exciting to people. So the word demon goes really far for edgy teenagers and people who are rebellious and such. Not realizing that it's really the word demon is cultural appropriation and vilification of a word that was actually a good thing. You know, your personal daemon. A daemon is what we're talking about. Your personal daemon, which is literally your watcher or your holy guardian angel in the Golden Dawn type systems, or related, or the Abramelin operation. That's what it is. That's what it is. So these different spirits are daemons. You can have a personal daemon, you can have a community daemon. Daemons are egregoric beings that are there, that are... How many of you seen Fight Club? It's your Tyler Durden. Sort.
Eddie Romanov says, I'm secure enough in my manhood to admit that demon is enough for me.
We love Eddie. Fuck yeah. I'm in a rather jovial mood, which is pretty apt for a Thursday.
I'm sorry, this is bothering me. I hear typing. Is my mic...
That is the electronical keyboard of the mechanical keyboard of my Wi-Fi.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Camille's random is chatting away with Eddie down here, which is cool. Don't stop, sweetie.
Oh, yeah, no, please go ahead. I thought it was my mic not muting properly. Damn, I might just lube up those mechanical switches, though. Like, I realized that.
I live for that clickety-clack. I can't type. Really, I can type 160 words a minute on a mechanical. On a rubbery shit one, I'm like maybe 120. And like,
oh yeah, no,
like I need that rebound. I need that rebound.
Yeah, no, now that I've switched to a mechanical, I fucking get it. Like, I absolutely get it. Mm-hmm. But let's just say there's a difference between MX Browns and like MX Blues.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
Yeah, the clickety is maybe a little bit too much, but tactile, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And now that we've lost 90% of our audience, the fucking mechanical keyboard nerd talk.
Oh, we can go deeper. I have red keys. Do you have yellow? Anyway, yeah. So, or red switches. Anyway, but yeah. So there's so many different ways you can interpret all of this stuff. Some people will go heavily psychiatric. Some people will go spiritual. Some people will go theistic. There's a lot of different ways you can approach this stuff, and I have my own beliefs on it, which I talk about all the time. One thing to understand is the word psyche once meant soul specifically. Nowadays, when we talk about psyche, we're talking about brain shit, because there's been, in my opinion, again, just like Christians appropriated certain words, modern science appropriates certain words, and in some ways destroys them. Modern language and modern science. Take the word person. Okay. How many of you guys know, Fleshy, do we have this conversation yet? How many of you guys know what the original meaning of the word person is?
I swear we have had this convo, but I do not remember it. What is the origin of person?
The original meaning of the word person is persona, which is mask. And it was used in the theater or in the mystery schools. Mask, meaning it is a mask. For what exactly? What is your persona? Who do you think you are? When I say Fleshy's a nice person, what I'm really saying is Flesh Priest is a nice mask. Mask for what? Anything that is personified, be it a ghost, a demon, a god, an angel, anything that's personified is a mask. That's what it means. So when you have a concept of God as an impersonal being, then that makes you potentially an atheist, because you don't believe in a personal God. Interesting thought, really, if we're being really, really specific about the meaning of words, which maybe isn't a good idea. Or maybe it's a really good idea. Maybe it teaches us something. To think about the origin of these words, what they originally meant, and how they apply when we think about that, like the word chaos. Think about the word chaos for a minute. The word chaos in modern use means what? What does it mean to you, Fleshy? Not what I've told you, but what do people mostly think of chaos?
No, chaos is randomness and utter unorganization to the modern lexicon.
Correct. But in the original lexicon, it meant gap. It meant abyss. It was void. That's what it meant. Well, what was it a gap of? What was a void of? It is devoid of
order.
No. And chaos. Order and chaos that you think of. This disorder is just another kind of order. That's all disorder is. It's just another version of order. In fact, disorder is a very specific kind of order, actually. Order has a whole lot of iterations, but disorder can only happen in one way. Think about it.
No,
in order to be disorder, it cannot be anything orderly. Whereas order, there's a whole bunch of different configurations order can fall in and be orderly. I know that sounds backward.
It's like a reverse engineering, but it comes to the same conclusion. I feel like I stated that wrong, but you probably know what I mean. It's like the same system, just coming at it from a reverse angle.
They're not equivalent is what I'm saying. Order and disorder are not actually equivalent in size in terms of like the number of iterations that they can have. So no, chaos does not mean disorder. That is a modern interpretation, a misunderstanding, just like person is a modern misunderstanding of the meaning of the original word. This is important because when we talk to each other, these words still have weight, perhaps. So when I say fleshy, you're a person, what I'm telling you in no uncertain terms is you're a mask. And if you don't see that, what it really implies, you go, yeah, I'm a mask. That's all I am. I'm the mask. That's what I'm fleshy. That's what I am. Nope. The mask is not what you are, though.
The mask is this condensed lens which I choose to express myself through.
Yep. So chaos means gap. Chaos means void. Chaos means abyss. But it doesn't mean nothing in the literal sense. When we say abyss, gap, and void, we don't mean literal nothingness, because that is a logical fallacy. It doesn't exist. To even conceptualize nothing, it suddenly exists. Real nothing in the literal sense of I can't even use a word to describe it. There is a thing where there's absolutely nothing. And so how do you know there's nothing there if there's nothing can't exist in that way?
Yeah, you can't define it because the only way that we have to describe it is by using, the presence of things. And it is not the presence of things. It is the absence of all things.
So order and chaos both exist. Order and disorder. See, it's a habit. Order and disorder both exist in chaos equally. So what does chaos mean? Chaos, what is the gap we're talking about? What is the abyss we're talking about? Okay, let's have some fun. What is the space between two waves called?
You talking about the cycle?
So when you have
valley?
So between the two crests of a wave, what do you call that thing in the middle? So you have a crest here, a crest here, and a big U in the middle. What do you call that?
Oh, well, a dip.
A trough, but okay.
Yeah,
a dip.
Yes.
Well, let's imagine that those two crests were 100 miles high. What would you call that?
Sheer fucking cliff.
Let's go even further. Instead of 100 miles, let's say 100,000 miles deep. Let's say 200. Let's say 100 light years deep. What do you call that? You can't see the bottom now. There's absolutely nothing.
An abyss, maybe?
An abyss, yeah. An abyss. A gap. But here's the fucked up part. The two crests are always connected by that trough. There's still something there. There's a connection there somewhere.
So you're saying, in a way, you're saying that we see a plateau and then a separate plateau over there, but we don't recognize it's so far down that we don't see the valley floor connecting the two plateaus.
So when I look at you right now, I see quite a plateau, don't I?
Yeah. And on the other side of the camera, I see another plateau. The trough is so deep that we see the separation.
we see it as separation. We see an abyss between us. But that abyss is never empty. The gap is never empty. What it is devoid of what? What is it devoid of?
Going along the metaphor? What are you fishing for, oh fisherman?
Well, let's be literal. Let's again say that we have two crests and they're separated by this trough, but the trough is 100 light years down.
First thing I would say is separated by information. We cannot perceive that far, so
you're not separated by information, but you're separated by cognition. You're separated by the experience of that data.
Yeah, I think that digs a little bit deeper than what just information flatly does.
So, the gap that KO, which is actually, I believe, how it's supposed to be pronounced, is actually referring to is what? If it still contains both order and chaos, it's still both there. What does the gap mean? The gap means a gap in
Cognition.
awareness of cognition of it. So let's put it like this. If I were to hold up for you a Rorschach ink blot that to most people has the image of a butterfly on it, what does it look like before your brain recognizes what it is?
Oh, just a bunch of smudges.
Chaos.
Yeah.
You just saw chaos. That's chaos. It is still there. But here's the other fucked up thing. Is there actually a butterfly on that Rorschach ink blot? No, there's no butterfly there. There's never been a butterfly on the Rorschach ink blot. That's in your mind. That's in your mind's eye. That's an invention of your imagination. It's never been there. Plushy, you're another Rorschach ink blot to me. This is all the gap. This is all chaos. This is all emptiness. In terms of, like that Rorschach ink blot, none of this is really here. We see it as a projection in our imagination, but it's not really here. So this is why the word chaos is so key. Chaos can be equivalent to Brahman in the non-dual conversation, the divine in another conversation, the impersonal God in yet another conversation. So what happens when we identify a God within that? That's actually a smaller piece of that totality. If you have like the more mystical Jewish understanding of God, you're not supposed to say its name or look at it or think about what it looks like or anything like that, because God is meant to be an impersonal force, an impersonal presence. It's like they're saying the same thing in a lot of ways that non-dual or monist traditions say. It is an impersonal being, which is what your consciousness is by itself. If you exclude all of your thought processes and ideas of yourself and get yourself into its true self, if you get rid of D.H. Thorne and all the ego shit that goes through your mind all the time, if you push back and you step back from all of that, what is it? It's consciousness. Consciousness is by itself that gap. It has no form. It has no substance. Nothing that you'd recognize, yet you still, you know it's there. You can still have the gnosis of it being there.
It's one of those things that exists and does not exist at the same time. The more important thing is that we interact with it.
As Gar said, and it's one of my favorite words, ineffable. The ineffable source.
Good word choice.
So when we say it's there, but it isn't there, it is definitely there. Okay. It does. So it absolutely is, but in the sense of what exists in our experience, it is not. All of the things that we see are illusory projections that help us relate to it. So people get all twisted up when I say, like, this is not real. They go, well, if it's not real, you could jump in front of a car and be fine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's that kind of an illusion. I'm saying that just like in a video game, if I jump in front of a car, my character in the video game gets squished and I might have to reload or something. It's not cool. Like, there's a consequence, okay? The illusion has consequences because it's made to have consequences.
It's not real in the same way that the WWE isn't real, but those guys are still fucking breaking bones and shit.
Jennifer Vatsa said, I'm totally affable.
Um, that, God damn it. Well played.
Bringing us back down to earth. Thank you, Jennifer. So, Jen asks, is there such a thing as non-dual dualism? Well, you just described dialectic monism. Dialectic monism is the understanding that reality is non-dual, but it is perceived in a dualistic way. Well, that's what we're talking about. Dualism is an illusion. It's not real, but you still live in that dualistic experience because that is what it means to be mortal. To not be mortal, to be immortal, is to completely get rid of the dualistic experience completely. Here's the fucked up thing. If you do not have the experience of dualism, what happens? If you get rid of all separation and all dualism, all of it, what happens? Well, one of the first things you'll notice is before and after go away, because there's no separation between the two times. It becomes now and always now. But if it's always now, you can't have the experience of anything changing, can you? So to be mortal means to take the infinity of your omniscience and condense it down to a very fine point that you call here and now, and then look back into yourself, which you think is outside, but it's really inside. Look out into yourself and see a whole universe out there. All of that is you. It's just you in another form, in another place, in another time, but it's all the same time and place, really. But you're limiting your understanding to the here and now.
I want to also point out that Jen asked about non-dual dualists with an E and not an A.
Oh, well then, English is my first language, which means I'm going to be bad at it. You
got to know who you're speaking to. DH is always going to read it with an A. It is so much cooler and more important, which is saying something because he would totally duel with an E, a motherfucker.
That's like my friend who always wanted to play a rouge.
Fuck you, goddamn it! Fuck
Whenever
you,
we
fuck
played
him.
D&D, he always wanted to be a rouge. I never understood it.
Fuck his ink blot.
Oh yeah. So, all right, I'm over it. Let's talk about something else.
We're past the trough. We're on the plateau. Totally
We're
over
on the plateau now. Send me your super chats. I'll answer your questions, motherfuckers. I'm in a goofy mood tonight. Let's make it happen. It's almost Christmas. Yes, the big bad scary Thorne has a damn Christmas tree, because why the fuck not? It's not Christmas around here. It's gimme shitness. That's what it is.
It's like we don't have to be totally we don't have to be totally Glenn Danzig about everything. Mm-hmm. We don't take ourselves that seriously, if you haven't noticed.
Dude, like, yes, I don't even think that I was born technically. I still celebrate my fucking birthday because that's when I get a new sword usually. So fuck you.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, hell yeah. So we did have a question. Let me see. That was from the previous one. So Wyatt is asking, what the hell is up with the Norse creation myth? I used to be a heathen before I figured out it was full of shit. I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's like cow and milk and giants and all kinds of cool shit. Yeah, I don't know because I'm not into the Norse stuff that much, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm more familiar with some of the other Norse myths, not the creation myth. But wasn't it something about overthrowing the frost giant
and all this stuff?
And then his body became some of the various worlds, something like that, after overthrowing the father.
There was like a big cow and some milk and a big giant and some other stuff. And honestly, I don't really give a fuck. That's not in my cultural lexicon right now. Maybe someday it will be, but it's not. I would also point you at, if you want weird shit, the Egyptian version of creation and all that. There's a lot of weird fucking creation myths out there.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like somebody came?
The Temple of Karnak was basically a jerk-off temple for God, so he could squirt the universe into existence. Something like that.
The world is bukkake.
I'm really doing a disservice to that belief, but I'm just telling you, look, people have to recognize that, especially when we lose connection to the culture's metaphors, we don't know exactly what they meant. one of the worst things that happens to metaphysical and spiritual truth, you'll start with an ascended master or someone who wakes up, figures out their God, and then tries to tell everybody about it. And then they go around telling everybody about it. And you got a bunch of like, it's literally like a fucking chimpanzee that has been elevated to understand how to use phones. And then they go to the other chimps like, here, try to, and they're like, and so people, they will take, the person will be enlightened and they will be trying to share this with the world, and they'll be telling them with the best metaphors and language, because you can't say it directly. You can't say, if I tell you you're God, that puts the wrong idea in your mind. So even though I think that's true in a manner of speaking, you'll probably go off and go, I'm God, worship me. No, asshole, that's not what I'm saying. And this is what happens. You know, you get Ugg realizes he's God, and Zug, you know, starts worshiping him like he's God. And Ugg is like, no, don't do that. And so my point is,
it's just like the moment that you become even a little bit tech savvy and then visit your fucking family for the holidays, and they're all just like, oh, so you can fix my phone? And you try to explain like, oh, you need to do this and that to make it operate smoothly. Don't have 32 tabs of Chrome open at the same time. That's why the fucker is slow.
I don't want to call out my friend, but we were playing on Roll20 the other day, and I couldn't understand why my son had a plus 1d4 bless bonus on everything. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was a bug, but he's like, well, I am a bard, and bards are supposed to be able to confer that kind of a bonus to people. So maybe Roll20. I'm like, your character sheets don't interact. Well, yes, they do, because I'm a bard. I'm like, no, this isn't like, no. You have to automatically, it doesn't automatically do this stuff. You have to tell it, yeah, but I'm a bard. So it's like, how do I get, anyway. So these people will figure it out. And when I say figure it out, I don't mean that. So here's the thing that people make the misunderstanding. People think that someone like me somehow reasoned through something and was convinced of this stuff, like got brainwashed basically, and decided it was true. That is not what happens. In fact, people who get it can tell when that's what's going on. Like when people are telling me Jim Carrey sounds like you, I'm like, he's parroting. I don't think he's actually had it.
Yeah, you didn't. You aren't the type of, oh yes, if you just follow, you know, in a very Alan Watts sense, this will lead you there. It's more of, yeah, Alan Watts told me about a cool path through the woods, and I decided to go into those woods, and I started wandering, and yeah, I get what he's talking about now.
Kinda. I already had been in that woods for a long time, and I saw the way out, but I didn't believe it. And then someone like Alan Watts comes along. So that's what a guru really does. So you actually have the highest guru that you'll ever know is a silent thing inside yourself. It's really what some people would call the holy guardian angel, the personal daemon, the watcher. If you want to personify it, if you don't want to personify it, it's just a silent higher guru. And what this guru does is, I'm personifying it right now, but this guru is what makes you think Thorne is smart or stupid. This guru is your own discernment, okay? And it's what leads you by the nose to the lessons that you need in the pace that you are ready for to get it. Now, maybe if someone wants to be really, we'll say, maybe somebody's got a very specific metaphysical belief system. Maybe they're a Buddhist or something, and they believe in a certain version of incarnation. My version of incarnation is all lives are happening at once. Like you can, like, there's no sequence to incarnation. There can be, but not by nature. In other words, if I do everything right in this life, that doesn't mean my next life I'll be a cow, right? That's not what it means. It means that right now I am also fleshy. I've just forgotten. So we're all incarnations of the same source. So at any point I can incarnate as anybody. Okay. Even now I could just be like, go to somebody else and not know it, and then come right back and not realize I did it. I don't want to get into that. That's too much for some people. But someone might say, well, Thorne must have been like a Buddhist monk, like in a past life. And that's why without any help, he just clicked at some point. No. I don't know. Maybe not. All I know is that I sort of thought a lot of this stuff. And then when listening to Alan Watts, a part of me said, you know, you've thought all this before, haven't you? Yeah. You know, that spirit that you used to work with that now you call a shadow, but maybe is more than that. Ranzael, a lot of what that spirit told you resonates with what you know now, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does. So you kind of knew all this stuff before. Why don't you put it in your mouth and try it out for a little while? Why don't you roll it around your mouth a little bit? And Alan Watts really didn't teach me anything except the language that I could use to give myself permission or talk to others about it. So it's kind of like I always suspected, I always knew, I always sort of thought. And then when I heard someone like Alan Watts saying it in language that was just beautiful and didn't sound crazy like it had sounded when I thought it. It's like I had it 99.9% of the way, and he was just like, oh, and just bang, it works. That's kind of what it was. And it clicked. So I didn't spend a lifetime in a fucking temple facing a wall going, I didn't raise Kundalini. I didn't have this long drawn out process of doing tantric yoga and bringing myself into, no, I was watering the bushes at work. And it just clicked.
And then the bushes watered you.
And then the bushes watered themselves. Yeah, exactly. The bushes watered me. Yeah. And that even wasn't it. That was like the threshold of it. That was more of a ego experience the first half. Then later I realized what was going on. I basically had an acid trip without the acid, and I figured it out. Okay. So I guess what I'm getting at is you cannot be convinced that you are God by any argument or any evidence even. There is no evidence that I could help you have that would prove it to you. The only way you're going to figure this out is if you yourself go there. Go to that place, like in Dune, go to that place you dare not look. You'll find me there staring back at you. What does that fucking mean? I know what it meant in the book, but what is another way to read that metaphor? That is like the metaphor of stare long enough into the abyss and the abyss stares back. You realize you are the abyss staring into yourself. So only when you do, there's different ways you can have this experience. There's a million different ways. There is no one right way or wrong way. But there is, you can tell when someone's had it or a threshold level had it, when someone's right there or has had it. I have people who've done like heroic doses of shrooms and shit come to me and be like, dude, how much did you do? And I'm like, I never did. I don't even know. I never did any. Like, really? You sound exactly like someone who did. I'm like, yeah, I know. You sound like someone who's done meditation for years. Well done.
We're seeing different patterns from the same ink blot.
Yes, precisely. I do agree with the Zen monks who say that the use of the chemical method is not the right way to master it, but it can be a good validation tool if you're unsure. Like if you're like, well, wait a minute, I've had my non-dual experience without it, but everyone's telling me that like an acid trip is like really wild. Okay, I'm one of these days. I'll let you know if they compare.
Everybody, like, from dipping into this topic a little bit, it seems like the people who practice it say that it's better to get there, like use the chemical for fun and to help you as an aid, but you're going to be able to control it a lot better if you have that groundwork first and foremost. Otherwise, it's just like an amusement park ride that is outside of your control. Whereas you get to lucid dream, so to speak, if you have the foundations before going into it.
I would even argue that, I'm not saying this is a rule, but I would even argue that in many cases, getting there the easy way can deprive you of the ability to do it, of building your own muscles, if you will. Like, you know, it's like someone who never walks. They've only ridden around in a wheelchair, even though they had no reason not to. They atrophy and can never walk, right? Like I don't know if they could ever walk. Their bones decay and all that stuff. So in a very similar way, I think it's possible. I'm not saying it's a rule, but I think it's possible that people who get there consistently with the chemicals only and never master the other way, I think they become dependent on the chemical. And I think, I'm not saying it's an inferior thing. I'm just saying that if I had to choose, I'd want to be able to without it and then take that to confirm and then maybe shortcut with it if I felt I needed it.
Yeah.
Personally.
You're not levying judgment. You just say you prefer this way.
Yeah, that's a fair thing to say. I think that's fair. Yeah, I would definitely say that's fair. So, anyway, there's a whole world of, people are putting stuff in the chat about different books and different thoughts and things. And I have to remind you guys, I'm not very well read. I'm not very learned. I'm actually the opposite. I'm a giant asshole when it comes to intellectualism. I'm the guy who doesn't go to school and starts his own business and does well. I'm that guy. I'm the self-taught guy. I am that. And I don't like basing what I think on other people's ideas too much.
You're the fucking person from all the clickbait ads of doctors hate him. Learn how he became successful with this one simple trick.
Yeah, I guess so. But then what happens is when trying to understand what I think, I'll do research and then I'll go, oh, those guys said what I said. Interesting. You can ask Eddie, because I go to Eddie with a lot of this stuff. Eddie can maybe back me up on this. I'll come to him with this great new discovery and I'll ask him a question, be like, wait a minute, I think I read this in I don't know, Gnosticism or something. He'll be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it says. Oh, fuck, I thought I had an original idea again. God damn it.
No, everything's just a remix.
It's just a damn remix, but unfortunately I never heard the song the first time.
So, holy shit, Wyatt Coverdale comes to us with something that I think should be your next t-shirt. He might have to earn a commission off this one. What is life but tripping balls while unintentionally waiting for necrosis to kick in?
Not far off. I used to have a poetic way of seeing it, and that is, we are still in the Garden of Eden, but we're tripping balls on the fucking forbidden fruit. That's what's really happening. And all of these people, you're all just different versions of me tripping out, and my wife's Eve tripping out, and all the angels and demons are just the various animals and things that are there to guard us while we're tripping balls, and God's sitting there going whoa, I told you, motherfucker, I told you. It sounded like Cheech and Chong.
Fucking hell, you should make that into a comic.
I think it would be a good comic. What if we're tripping balls right now? Of course, the story of the apple and Adam and Eve is 25,000 layers of symbolism, and I won't get into it right now. I only know maybe 3 or 4 layers of it, but there's so many layers there.
I wonder with some of that shit sometimes if it's symbolic now to us. If they, how am I trying to say this? When they wrote it, did they intend all of the croissant level of layers of symbolism? Or was it just this sounds really nice?
I'll give you one that I mentioned in my book recently, and it's the story about Sodom and Gomorrah and how Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt. There's a lot of different layers to that reading. You have the authoritarian reading, the orthodox reading, which is obey God or else. That's basically what it says. I think that's even being generous, honestly. Then you have just, layers that say morality is important and all these things, and this is what morality means. It's fair. That's a cultural metaphor. Okay, cool. But somewhere in there is actually a metaphor for someone who is on the verge of having an enlightened experience, right? They have recognized something, their divinity, if you will, and they're trying to escape the coil of mortality, the cycle of samsara. Hear me out. This may seem a little weird, okay? Well, at some point, so Lot makes it out. Lot gets it. Lot has his experience. He wakes up. He realizes he's God, and he gets away from Sodom and Gomorrah, which is a metaphor for all the worldly experiences. Lot's wife, on the other hand, has a moment of weakness, shall we say, turns around and gets turned to salt. What does that mean? Well, Lot's wife decides she's not ready to elevate away from the mortal coil. She will miss the pleasures of life. She has some sense of guilt even for the people that are left behind. So she's turned to a pillar of salt. Now, wait a minute. That sounds like a punishment, Thorne. let's hold on. What does salt symbolize? Look up what salt symbolizes. Salt symbolizes, well, no. That's one thing. No. In the alchemical system, what does salt symbolize? Salt, sulfur, mercury. What are they? Well, look them up, but I'll tell you salt basically means the physical, the material. Salt is the hard, the firm. Salt is matter. So what does it mean? Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt, meaning she turned around with longing for her mortality, we'll say, and essentially decided to stay mortal, decided to stay material. Whereas Lot moved on into that enlightened state, and his wife did not. So yeah, salt, sulfur, mercury, it's right there.
Didn't the alchemical process come much later than that, though?
Did it? Really? You sure? Everything?
I don't know. I'm fucking uneducated as fuck. I'm just some dude who sniffs termite turds.
Anyway, that's a potential. Maybe I'm reading into it, though. Maybe that's what I'm doing. But that's my reading of it. That's how I understand it.
Could certainly argue it's a collective unconscious type of understanding with the symbolism.
Maybe. It seems kind of a waste for it to be a story about obeying God and being moral, doesn't it?
Yeah, admittedly, a lot of the stories from the Bible are really weird with that, where they don't, to my reading, they don't seem to tell a clear-cut story. And it's really like there's the message that you glean out of them, according to, you know, an orthodox understanding, is just very like, okay, but you had to grasp at some straws there. Like, as Eddie Romanov, thank you very much, reminded us.
So let me drop a tidbit.
Okay.
While we were saying that, we'll get back to Eddie Romanov in a second. We were talking about the salty there. So I just Googled it, and one place that the word salt comes from is biblical. You are the salt of the earth. Well, they weren't talking about, what were they talking about? Salt of the earth. You're the common substance of reality. Anyway, go back to your Eddie thing.
No, before Eddie, because I was going to bring this up like 30 minutes ago in stream and I forgot. Kids, what am I saying? Parents, don't let your kids do occult shit, because it is a dark and dangerous load. What the fuck? I can't speak tonight. It's a dark and dangerous road that leads to etymology. Lots and lots of etymology.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be black magicians. Wyatt and several other people, Fleshy, sort of seem to have you called here, especially Wyatt. He says, Yepson, nope. The alchemical trinity has been around since the Greco-Egyptian era with the emerald tablet and all, which is pretty far back. Yes, that's pretty far back.
Well, hey, I'm happy I said something, because I learned a thing today then.
It goes at least that far back. In fact, you can see it in other things. So I do believe that was probably the meaning. At some point along the way, it's not like they couldn't have changed the word to be salt, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to do more research. Maybe I'm sure we could get somebody here who's a Christian or a Jew to critique my take on it, and be totally honest about it. And
I'm sure we have a bunch of those in the audience on the regular. We do get the occasional, though. What the fuck am I saying?
No,
yeah, the cool ones hanging around.
You know, that's why, like, when you get people in the black magic community talking about Christianity for real, I tend to find their take way more useful than like the hard Satanist or the hard Christian version.
Oh yeah. If nothing else, they're just like, oh, you have a different perspective that I haven't seen 200 times already.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I told you guys early on that someday I'd have to face the shadow of that stuff, sooner or later.
Fucking Eddie is roasting me in the chat. Just a dark and dangerous load. Freudian slip. The Flesh Priest story. A new Lifetime movie. But yeah, so what he originally was saying, that's right. He was reminding us about the tale of Sodom and Gomorrah is basically, you know, and I'm paraphrasing here because I can't find the exact comment. Oh, here we go. Please don't non-consensually hug The angels. It will make me look like a bad host. Please non-consensually hug my daughters instead. That's Sodom and Gomorrah in a nutshell.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like, I got to give up my kid's ass so that the angels don't get touched, even though they could just be like, and make it stop. Yeah.
Can we also say fucking Lot's wife was screwed over? We don't even know her name. Her importance,
right,
is that
just Lot's wife.
Yeah, she is related to, she is married to Lot, and then she turns into a pillar of salt. Fuck her. Fuck that bitch for having
Maybe there's
some
another layer of
curiosity.
symbolism there that we're not realizing. Maybe we're talking about the feminine side of Lot himself. Maybe we're not talking about a literal wife. You know?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe there's a lot of layers here, guys.
Now I got to reread it. Except I kind of don't because of all the non-consensual hugging.
I really honestly think that, you know, we all have deep shadows based around these things. This is why I said earlier that the Goetia wouldn't be shit if it didn't say the word demon on it somewhere. You know, and I think in the same way, people wouldn't have a problem with Christianity except for the bad rap that other people give it. And I'm talking about just I don't mean the organization. When I say Christianity, I mean there's something separate from the organization, right? That represents something else. And I don't want to get into that again, but yeah. So I'm still working on it, guys. I'm still working on it.
I just now had the thought of, because we're, even though we don't follow that path, we're raised in a Judeo-Christian culture. And so the aspects of demons and everything is going to have a certain dark and edgy appeal to us that, let's be honest, I mean, I fucking love it. You all probably do too, for that same reason. People that are not from that culture, where a different religion predominantly dominates. I wonder, is the Goetia as popular there, or are they looking up like the 72 dark Jinn of the apocalypse, or various other examples? I don't actually know.
Eddie just said it well. The Goetia is the black metal cover band of ancient paganism. Changed my mind. You're not wrong. Necronomicon is the new version. So, and the 50 Names of Marduk is basically a new version.
It's the new metal.
It's the new metal version. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, dude. And, what will eventually happen is, like, future books will veer off into different directions and things that I talk about. And people will make the mistake perhaps of thinking that I've become this or that when I include the conversation pieces in there. The thing you have to understand is, just as I am not an Advaitin, I will never be a Gnostic, I will never be a Hermeticist, I will never be a Zen Buddhist, I will never be a Taoist. One of the things I learned from Alan Watts was to never be any of these things, but to appreciate them as a performer and entertainer, and bring to you those things in that spirit so that you can gain whatever it is that you're going to gain from it. Not to see me as some sort of a cleric or priest or, spokesman for those things, other than to encourage you to be interested in and learn from them. And that's where I come from. I will never, one of the reasons for it is because none of them are perfect, and you can pull apart any belief system. But there is something that you can't pull apart on me. And that is my experience, the one I had of non-dual awareness, realizing what I am. You cannot take that away. You could torture it out of me, I suppose, and get me to say whatever you want, but you could never take it away from me. You could never, short of knocking me out and giving me amnesia of some kind, and even then, you wouldn't take it away from me because it didn't actually happen to me. That is to say, the D.H. Thorne me didn't happen to him. The D.H. Thorne guy was left behind. The real me went, ooh, there he is. Completely different thing. You can't take away that experience from me. Just like if I were to show you a sunset. Fleshy, look at that sunset over there. Ooh, pretty. That's not really a sunset. It's actually just a really cool LCD display that's really realistic with high def. Well, you still saw a sunset. It just wasn't a literal sunset. But I can't take away the experience of seeing it, can I? No. You still saw it. And in the same sense, you can't take away the experience of this non-dual awakening. You can only change the interpretation, the language, the words, the verbiage. You can change the arguments, you can change the implications, but you can't change the core fundamental thing. Non-dualism is one of the simplest things. And it is also something that is not provable. However, once experienced, it can't be disproven either. It transcends the logic and reason of our usual methodology. Oh.
Say thank you to Julia Bonilia for the super chat with the marching lemon pears with trumpets. Maybe
that's a freaky one.
Maybe that's King Paimon's. What's the word?
It's King Lemon's.
King Lemon's entourage. There we go.
Thank you, Julie. No, we appreciate it. Thank you for the sticker. I mean, you can ask a question for $5, but we appreciate the sticker. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to have a happy holiday, whatever it is that you do for it.
And if you have a question, just tag me with it. And yeah, you deserve a segment for a super chat.
That's right. You deserve a rant, as we like to say. I'm noticing that people are being a little stingy tonight, like they spent all their money on their family for gift cards and shit. What the fuck? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shame on you for thinking about your family first.
Don't you know that that this candle costs like 99 cents and I have to have a couple of them a week? Come on, guys. No,
up costs. So we actually, let me see, we have one here from Wyatt is very questionable tonight.
Oh, well, we gave him a little bit of love, and so he's like, his balls swelled up, and now he wants to like ask a lot of questions.
I think all the ones I have are cut off. I got like half of them and not the second half, so I'll have to hit him up in the chat about that. But let me see. So Wyatt says, oblivion cannot be described with black or white. It isn't gray nor between it. It can only be described with both or neither at the same time. And so a new word, hue, which I'm defining the word which is used when words cannot describe it. Example, oblivion is who. Who is oblivion?
I'll have to play with that, but let's return to the premise. Flesh Priest, what color is pure light?
I'm going to play the Everman and say white.
You fool! Oh, come here, beautiful. What are you doing? No, don't go there. A little spider just dropped down right on my stuff. I'm gonna lose him. He's probably gonna crawl over my hand when I'm playing Planet Side and make me shit every inch of my pants. Come here, little dude. Come here. I want to get you safe. No, don't run away. There we go. I love you. I don't want to hurt you. Anyway.
You were fucking adorable.
I love spiders. I want to touch him. I'd hold him.
I get it. I'm right there with you. I
don't know where he went.
I know I rant about this sometimes, but it's fucking adorable seeing your aesthetic and how you fucking act with this shit. Like, I legitimately fucking love it.
I will kill a motherfucker. Give me that kitten right now.
You are fucking John Wick with some of this shit.
Oh, I'm a total John Wick. I totally am. I'm just not as cool, I guess.
Yeah. Could you guys imagine? I don't know if he's still here watching, but for like Behemoth X is fucking has an intimidating persona. Like,
oh, he's like that too, dude.
Yeah, I know, but like just Behemoth X, like the presence that he brings whenever he's on camera and everything makes me feel like I'm an inch shorter or something, but I also, at the same time, totally see him just being like, oh, you are the most adorable little kitten.
You know what it is? I don't like me when I'm angry. That's what it is. When I'm angry, I'm not a good person. I'll kill a motherfucker. But I didn't say that though, because if I ever get in trouble, they'll say he said it on a live stream, so he did it. Because they'll get fucking what's his name? They'll get Binger to come and try to.
Come on, dude. They'll find guilt for you no matter what.
They'll find it. They'll be like, look at his black curtains. He's evil.
Yeah, you're guilty no matter what you do, so you might as well be yourself and have fun.
Wyatt says, feeling cute might destroy a few universes. All right, let's go back to the color question. What color is light? Pure light. What color is it?
Pure white.
So you said white. Okay. Does that mean that... light can't be black?
Well, yeah. Home Depot sells black lights.
So look at my screen right now. You see this little area right here?
Mm-hmm.
What color is that?
That's black.
And if I made your whole screen that color, would it still light up the room?
Yes, but
Of course it would.
but
Yes, it would, though. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is, technically, light doesn't have any color nor even shade of light or dark. Light, the colors that we see, aren't inherently part of light. They're a phenomenon that exists only in the mind's experience of it. Light has no color. It has no brilliance. It has none of those things. It is a perturbation in a field of electromagnetism. That, too, is a perceptual concept that doesn't exist as we perceive it, but it is there. It just doesn't exist as we perceive it. So this idea that we'll call it light, dark, Q, or anything else, that's human symbolic language again. And it is not representative of the true whole. This is why when people say, this is where, you know, left-hand pathers, black magic types can get a little hung up on their own shadow and trip over it once in a while. Not to say that I love this, because you're never going to catch me saying love and light, but when someone says everything is light, like light is everything, they'll go, well, I believe in the darkness. I am edgy and cool. Oh, hold up. You just like black. That's what you like. But black is part of light, too. It's really interesting. So when you're saying that you like darkness, what you're saying is you like the light that looks dark to you. Now, the interesting thing about that is the light that cannot be seen is closer to the true nature of light than the light that can be seen. Remember what I said before, the color of light that you see is an illusion in your mind's eye. It doesn't actually exist. Go ask an actual scientist what color light is. If you get a good one, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you got a point, light doesn't have a color. Light is something your brain does with the perception of color, of light, excuse me. So those people who, they're unwittingly saying something, but they probably wouldn't realize it if I hit them on the head with it. Because they're being edgy at that moment. They're ironically correct. The people say, oh, it's all white light. So, yeah.
As a small follow-up to that, you were mentioning, what did you say earlier in response to Wyatt? But he said, although you did fuel my pride, it's rather because I've just been anticipating the stream for a while. I've had a lot of time to build up my supply of stupid fucking questions. I know
Wyatt is the most egoistic, humble thing I've ever seen, because he'll, on the one hand, be like, I am the greatest idiot in the world. That's why I like Wyatt.
He introduced himself as God. I fucking love that. Yeah. Fuck yes. Yes, you are.
And God takes shits. That's the bottom line. Yuli Bonilla, she says, I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. She gave us a 10, Fleshy, and she's still not asking questions. I'm getting offended by the generosity in this room. Demand something of me. I dance for your money.
Yes. Tell us a song. Give us a request. Something. You deserve something for this. We don't work for free. Come on now. You're making us self-conscious.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck? I don't know. We've been doing this for fun anyway, but
yeah. And you know, I feel a disturbance in the force every time something like this comes up. I know Eddie's going to come at us with something smart, and he does have some qualms with electromagnetism and such, and other big words that I'm not nearly educated enough to say, but
right.
Ooh, but yeah, that's I always feel that coming, and I'm just happy that somebody smart is in the chat.
Yeah, the left-hand rule, right-hand rule, all this good stuff is very useful because there's even more going on there. This is why I like a guy, Theoria Apophasis. I don't know if he's a crackpot or if he's got it all figured out. I love his interpretations and understanding of magnetism, and I think Eddie would find him fascinating if he's never watched him. Maybe he's got reasons to not believe him or agree with him, but yeah, I don't know, dude. It's pretty good shit. Check him out and watch his videos, especially on the subjects of electromagnetism. Really good stuff. Flies over my head, and I'm not a dummy. So I have to take notes and watch him sometimes just to get a piece of what he's talking about. Just with that. Other stuff I think he's maybe right or wrong about, but that in particular, that stuff and his interesting interpretations and understandings of Pythagorean stuff is really good shit. So.
Ooh, so this one I find interesting. So I'm gonna put it.
Hold on. Wyatt just said, just trying to blend in for you dirty plebeians. We're Pleiadians. We're Pleiadians here, motherfucker, not plebeians. Get it straight. Pleiadians. Pleiadians. I don't know if that means
what the fuck. What the fuck does that mean?
Look up the Pleiadians, like the aliens from the Pleiades.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to follow a little bit more. So we have a question from, where the fuck was it? God damn it. We have a question from Raw. Why must we dwell on duality? And I'm going to put a stipulation on this answer because we talk about duality a lot. How would you, in a concise way, explain to somebody on the street why it is important to take up the lens of non-duality for a practice?
For a practice?
Or, sorry, remove that, for an outlook, more broadly speaking. Just shrub that all off. Just, why is non-duality important?
Ultimately, there is no purpose to it. But there are people who go looking for it. And they go looking for it as an answer to the suffering that their dualistic mind gives them. When you go looking for a solution to the suffering of your dualistic mind, the only answer that will satisfy is to discover the non-dual truth of your nature so that you no longer feel totally and completely stuck. Now, the higher understanding of why, when the original question, why dualism at all? I'll put it to you like this. To know your infiniteness, you must know your finite. To know pleasure, you must know pain. To know that you are God, you must be mortal. You cannot have one without the other. You must have both experiences to get anything out of either of them. So this means that within non-dualism, ultimately is going to be the potential expression of dualism as an illusion. It is inevitable to have it because non-duality is an inevitability. They go together perfectly. They cannot be separated ultimately. This is why the yin-yang is understood as one thing, but it has two sides. There's no separation between the yin and the yang. They're found within each other. That's what the symbol is telling you. There's so much here that people overlook because they only look superficially at the anecdotes and the metaphors. They take, like I said earlier, every one of the religions that is fucking us over for the last 10,000 years of human history always begins with someone who goes, bing, I get it, and then tries to tell their friends because they feel alone and they want to help their friends and family out. And those people hear the story and they go, well, I don't understand. Could you explain it in a way that a sheep herder would understand? And they go, okay, well, you had this cow, right? And this giant kicked it over and the universe came out of that. And you have the Norse creation myth. Oh, well, you know, I'm joking here. I'm being completely facetious. But my point is they will tell you in metaphor, like I'm doing in some cases. And it's not clear superficially. And so people hear that and they reinterpret it and turn it into butt stuff, as Eddie likes to say.
It's like the Norm Macdonald professor of logic of Gnosis, if that makes any sense.
I mean, Norm Macdonald always makes sense. He pretty much crossed all party and ideological lines. Everybody liked him. So, I'm just going to say Lilu says it's to survive dualism. I think they're saying that dualism is to help us survive. Well, yes and no.
Would you say cope, maybe?
No. Dualism is not. Dualism is an illusion. It's totally an illusion. Okay, that is certain to someone who's jumped over that abyss. Actually, you fall down in it. That's the whole point. Crossing the abyss doesn't mean you skip it. It means you go all the way down and go, oh shit, there's no bottom. Then you hit the bottom and go, oh, yeah, they're both connected. Good, I get it. You realize the bottom of the abyss looks like the top of a crest of another wave when you get to the bottom. You go, oh shit, fuck. Oh, I gotta go up there now? That's pretty far. That looks like an abyss up there now. You realize they're connected ultimately. Anyway, that's the metaphor. The dualism that we experience is an illusion. It is I'm going to say, consequence of you forgetting that you are the infinite. Doc Stivel says dualism is a simulation. Not a bad analogy. Very good analogy. I wouldn't pick a bone with you, but I might say that it's definitely like that. Yes. So dualism is a simulation. Well, why do we have the simulation? Because without that simulation, well, we would be omniscient all the time, and that's boring, I guess. You want to know what it's like to be omniscient? It's not what you think. People think omniscient means that
it's having 500 channels on the television and nothing to watch.
Worse. It's watching them all at once. Think about it. Being totally omniscient would be like watching not just 500 channels all at once, but everything that has ever happened on all 500 channels all at once. That's omniscience. Could you make sense of that even for a moment? No, you couldn't. The only way you could do that is how? To watch them one at a time, of course. So basically, duality is God's way, the infinite divine's way of watching 500 channels, but just not all at once. If you want to understand what omniscience is like, look up the word oblivion. That is what omniscience will be like. Omniscience is utter silence that when penetrated, you realize is not actually silent. It is just so full, you can't comprehend the sound, and so it becomes as silence. It is something that is so completely filled with experience that you can't distinguish any experience. That's chaos. You can't distinguish any experience from it. You can't have cognition of anything. That's chaos. That ultimate omniscience is what is there when you tune out. When I say tune out, I mean you de-objectify your experience. When you go into that non-dual Satori state and you find your inner silence and identify with that, then you realize that silence is not actually silence. You haven't tuned out the world. You've actually tuned it all in. You've de-objectified. But it looks to your mortal experience just like a black emptiness because you cannot fathom what it is. The deepest sleep that you go into is omniscience. And you can't bring that back to your finite self because you can't fit an ocean through a fucking urethra, okay? It has to come out one piss at a time. Got to be Bane. You know me. I gotta be base about shit just to bring it back down to earth. You know me. I gotta be funny.
That fucking struck me out so out of left field that I had to pay attention.
I'm like Alan Watts with Tourette's, and I'm like a ratchet Alan Watts. That's what I am. I'm a ratchet Alan Watts. I'm the ghetto Watts. That's what I am. I'm not. I wasn't just from Watts. I am Watts, motherfucker.
Oh my fucking god.
You cannot pass the universe through your urethra, okay? That is basically what God's trying to do here right now. You're experiencing life, you're experiencing the ocean one drop at a time because you can't know the whole ocean all at once. I mean, you can, but you can't know it in a way that you can comprehend right now. You just can't. So they go together perfectly. They're opposite ends of the spectrum. To be all, you must also know what it's like to be less than all. This is where dualism comes in, because dualism is not the higher reality is non-dual, but dualism is a feature of non-duality. It's the yin yang is the whole, but you have the two pieces. They appear separate, but there's nothing separate about them. Here's a misunderstanding of the yin yang, in my opinion. I don't know if this is traditional or not. Somebody can correct me. Maybe you're a Zen monk or a Taoist or something. You're like, Thorne, you're completely wrong. But my interpretation of the yin yang, it is not that they're swirling around each other. Get that pinwheel idea out of your head. That's not what's happening. They're actually becoming each other. When you see them appearing to swirl around, what's actually happening is they are morphing into each other in a way that looks like they're swirling around each other. The yin becomes the yang and the yang becomes the yin. And you know how I know this for 100% fact? From the perspective of yin, it is pulling yang along and pushing yang forward. From the perspective of yang, it is pushing yin forward and pulling yang around. They're both pulling and pushing equally. Neither one is actually the puller or the pusher. The idea that yang is the push force and yin is the pull force, only on the perceptory level of you. The ultimate truth is a vacuum sucks as much as the force that goes into it pushes.
It is the great universal 69.
Good way to put it. Yeah. It's a giver and taker all in one shot. So let's put it this way. Take a circular object. Flesh, you have a plate in front of you or anything circular that you can play with?
Not a clean one.
Maybe your cheese wheel dick that you're always talking about? No, just kidding.
You didn't have to go there.
I'm kidding.
Maybe because my dick is wider than it is long.
All right. I'll use this medallion here. Okay, this is circular.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Can you guys see this okay? Probably not. So if I wanted to go left, what do I have to do?
You have to rotate it. You have to pull with one hand and push with the other.
Okay, so I pull and push with... Can you tell me which one's actually pulling and which one's pushing?
It looks like your left hand is pulling and your right hand is pushing.
Well, wait a minute. Am I not pushing down with that hand? Am I not pushing up with that hand? Am I not pulling up with that hand and pulling? Are they not both a push and a pull equally?
I guess it's a matter of perspective. I guess you could say you're pushing in both directions.
Perspective is what makes you think it's one or the other. It's actually always both. Non-duality. It's always both. A push is always a pull. A pull is always a push. Perspective was a key word. You just gave a great word. Perspective is a key word. What is perspective? Perspective can only exist if you forget and deny that you are the whole thing. And the only way that you can have a push become a push is if you deny that it is also a pull. So when I'm doing this, you have to say it's only pulling or only pushing. But in reality, it's doing both, always doing both.
I'm not sure where that came from, but I think somebody takes umbrage with the banner.
Hopefully they're just being dumb. Come and take it then. Come take it down for me, motherfucker.
I think they were just making a joke. They just
I think they are too. They've been here long enough to know. They better know better. But yeah, so the push and the pull are always the same thing. So what makes it one or the other? You said perspective. That is true. So where does this perspective come from? From the denial that they're one thing, doing both. You have to say it's only a push. The moment you say that, you deny that it's also a pull. That's your perspective. Perspective is not the truth. Perspective is just a way of looking at the truth.
It's throwing limitations on the thing.
It's a denial, which is a limitation. Yes, it's so primordial ignorance is what we're talking about. It's a forgetting of the whole in favor of a small part. It is saying, I am here and now instead of everywhere all at once. You really are everywhere all at once, but you're having the experience of here and now. You're having... Oh, Doc Stivel, I'm going to kiss you. I am going to kiss you on whatever part of you is kosher, because that's fucking funny. He says, lol, you said how do you make me go left? Give me a ching. He said, take down the banner. That's the joke. Take down the banner. That's how you go left. Now, I know that, hold on, Fleshy. I know you're going to say that there's lefties that are very pro Second Amendment. We're not going to go there. But that is the ka-ching. That was the ching. I'm giving it to him because that is a common theme of many leftists, maybe not the left, but many, just like it's a common theme on the right to be a Bible thumper, although I wouldn't say it is the right. Okay. Let's be fair.
That sounds very right of you to say.
Fair is fair. Oh, that sounds so left of you.
Touche.
Oh man. That's why we have our poll channel in Discord, because we have these conversations, not with Fleshy though. He runs like a scared little girl at those. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, no, I only drop in there to fucking toss a quick grenade and then dip out.
We have some interesting arguments in there. I'm always right, but at least I give people a chance to be wrong. How's that meme go? The Rick Sanchez. I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh shit. Look, if I can't laugh at my own fucking bias, then what the fuck is the point?
Right? Oh yeah, right.
I mean, I do believe I'm right, but even I know I'm biased about it, and I know I'm fallible with it. So if you can't do that, don't fucking show up. You can't play the game.
Don't be Glenn Danzig about it. Motherfucker can't even take a punch.
Oh shit. You said it. You just went there. He got fucking flattened, dude. It's fucking great fight. If you've never seen this, look it up. Glenn Danzig gets knocked the fuck out
to the fucking ground.
I mean, I have an appreciation for his art and music and stuff. Not a huge one, but
yeah.
But I'm laughing my ass off at how he got. Now, granted, the guy was like my size versus like, a toddler by comparison. It was the guy who just flattened him. It would be like if like a little 13-year-old, like, it'd be like if Wyatt came to me and was like, Stadlik, and I'm like, boosh. That's exactly what it looked like. It was just,
I can hear Camilla cracking up. That's fucking great.
He punched his soul into hell. That's how he punched him into the ground.
But let's be fair. That was Glenn Danzig fucking, having the stature of a chihuahua and barking like a pit bull. Like, he was presenting himself like a pit bull, and he got fucking slapped down like a termite.
It was bad. And from what I heard, he had it fucking coming, too.
He took a fall like a fucking football player.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer, football, whatever.
Oh, for sure. No, but he actually felt it, though. He wasn't like, what's his name, where it's like you just, like, elbow him, like, touch him with his... I forget his name, the guy who does it.
They all fucking do it, man.
No, dude, he like, that was like a piece of tissue paper and a fucking, like a fucking sledgehammer. That was just terrible. It was just I was so embarrassed for him. I'm like, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, I guess.
Dude, to a nicer guy. Are you talking about a football player?
No, I meant Glenn Danzig.
Oh, like, I was going to say, because Danzig fucking hit the floor with a heftier slap than a big dick in a locker room, man.
Salud, comment ça va? Yeah, I just got here. What's up, Jacob Dow? We love you, brother. Good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Jacob Dow's got his own channel, and he is also, he's got balls of steel, shall we say. He deals with haters too, and we love him, and we want to support him. He's a good guy. Thank you for the two spot, brother.
He also makes a thunderous sound like a big dick and hitting the floor in the locker room.
I'm not sure what you were going for there, but I think you hit.
Anybody who's experienced that will know. That is my cursed gnosis for you.
I'm just gonna. I don't want to know. This
sounds
like some rainbow stuff that I'm not against it, but I don't need to hear it all, man.
I hope. You know what? I've never personally spoken with you, Jacob, outside of the chat here, but I'm trusting that you took it the right way and not the wrong way, like a big dick hitting the floor in the locker room.
You mean Danzig? No, that wasn't a locker room. I think it was in a hallway. I think it was.
It was the fucking back rooms of a.
Yeah. I think what happened was the other guy was in another band that was supposed to play more or get to play, and they weren't going to get to play because Danzig was being a prick about it, and like they came to heated words, and Danzig was being a prick about it, and. I mean, yeah, I think the guy sucker punched him a little, but I think he pushed him first. I don't remember, but I don't know, dude. It was a good show. It was.
God, anybody who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about after the stream is over, just look up Glenn Danzig knockout, and you'll know it's fucking great. It's great if you know what a prick Danzig is.
Oh, Timmy Nemo High talking about Vast Tech. I don't know what this Vast Deference tech shit is.
Camilla's fucking on it, but yeah, we're getting a lot of like fucking spam. Where the fuck is the black magic porn bot? You know, if we're gonna have spam bot comments, at least let it be for the porn sites again. I missed that.
Yeah,
bring back the black magic porn.
Well, you know what it is? There's got to be some hater. There's some guy who says I'm running a cult and everything else. I love these people. They try so hard. They're such tryhards. It's really amazing. And they probably, you know, just to be petty, they'll put my thing on some, you know, troll me website somewhere that they find. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, Eddie says Danzig shoves the guy first and he gets knocked the fuck out. I'm going to be sad because I bet you Behemoth X knows Danzig and will either tell us he completely sucks or that we're completely wrong and he's a nice guy. Knowing Behemoth X, who, I mean, you know, he's another softie. Let's give him some credit. He'll probably say something nice about him.
I'm sure you would probably have something nice to say about him if he's ever interacted with him, but also say like, yeah, I would also knock him out.
What's that?
Northside Kings.
Oh, that's right. It was Northside Kings. Danny. Yeah, my wife was. You probably all heard.
Fucking on it. Yeah. Yeah, we could hear.
Yeah.
Billy Goat just, who the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. He doesn't know. Billy Goat's just random comments all over the place. Seems cool, but then says weird shit. We love him, but we hate him. I don't fucking know.
What was that? Oh, fuck, where was that comment? I fucking lost it. I forgot already. Never mind.
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, we're talking about a misfit. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about a misfit.
Thank you, Raul.
Yeah. What was I'm going to ask a stupid question that I should know the answer to. Fucking Peter Steele's original band before it was typo negative.
Oh, I wouldn't even know.
That wasn't hold on. I feel stupid right now. Yeah.
Jacob Dow comes back with the super chat, says, I'm still yet to find a decent French occult forum.
And you probably never will. Well, I don't know, Fleshy, you're sort of French, aren't you?
Yeah, I have Acadian ancestry. I don't know. I feel
Carnivore.
like
that was Peter's original band. Sorry, Carnivore. That's
okay. I feel like the Acadians probably have their own thing going on, but I wouldn't know because I don't speak fucking 3 different languages.
Yeah. Oh! Wifey lady, are you listening? We're going to have to take a trip out to Farmingdale soon. Peter's buried there.
He's buried there?
Yeah, St. Charles Resurrection Cemeteries, Wellwood Avenue, Farmingdale. We're going. Yeah, we're going.
Buried in the city.
I thought so too. Well, I mean, he spent time on the island, I guess. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he was at the mall once.
I know he spent time in Rikers Island.
Oh, she went there.
Hey, Daniel, I'm happy to see you again. Yeah, Daniel of the Lions. Yeah,
yeah,
happy,
Daniel from the Bible,
you visited
right?
me in my grave. Yeah.
Yeah,
real nice
fucking
you,
many bitches up here in hell, motherfucker. Share my albums. I know he was, but we all say that when we're about to die.
Wyatt says, want to hear the single sentence that can summarize everything I've ever said on this channel since its creation? Angrily, what the fuck is going on?
But say it in German so it sounds more real. Because life is like that. Angry sounding.
Angry sounding, but sweet if you just
what
lay
is it
away all preconceptions.
Eddie probably knows it. Like, what is it? Tell people you love them, but say it to them in German because life is angry and confusing. Or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Billy Goat got it. He says, up here on hell. Keywords. Jacob Dow says, I'm a part-time college student and I'm studying Francais. I am a trois of the way through my program, yeah.
I'm so sorry for you. Yeah. I took a single high school class of French and my ancestors are frowning upon me.
Oh, for sure. I got some French in me, and that was before I did anything funky in the showers at one time. And yeah, I took French for like 2 or 3 years, and I think I learned that I hate French. That was pretty much what I learned. And I learned more in 4 years of Chinese than I learned in 2 years of French with people in my family who spoke French. Like my mom, when she goes to like when she was in the hospital for a while, and she'd have whatchamacallit, Haitian nurses and stuff, she could talk to them in French, and like they'd be all like shocked and shit, and it was kind of fun because like they could, like it was fun for her and for them, and she get to talk French, and they're like they basically would ask me if I would talk French, parlez-vous français or whatever, and I'm just like, motherfucker, I don't even speak English, and that's my first language, so sorry, no.
I am kind of curious sometimes about like how many, like where people who are watching us come from. I see Lilu says they're from the Netherlands right now, and it's 5:44 in the morning. Jesus Christ, what are you, like, I love you for being here, but what the fuck are you doing? I'm kind of like, anybody who doesn't mind saying, I am very genuinely curious, where the fuck are you watching us from?
Just give us region if you don't mind, because that's interesting. I mean, I see it on my whatchamacallit, when I see the analytics, I can see where most of my viewers are from, but I do find it interesting to see like where people are watching from, especially like in real time, like where are you guys from?
Yeah, I'll volunteer myself first. I'm from the West Coast, fucking Washington of the United States of America. No, that I don't know where the fuck that comes from. I have not heard one single Washingtonian say Washington.
Well, that's like here on Long Island, we get people who will say Long Island, and we get people who say library, and it's like, where do you fucking savages come from? Like, speak English. The fuck?
Yeah, it's funny because you guys don't have that stereotypical New York accent, but occasionally I catch it more with Camilla than with you for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I'll notice it with the R's more than anything. Where it's like it's almost like you're an Olympic fucking, what's the jumping over the barricades thing?
Hurdler.
It's like you're an Olympic hurdler and your foot just catches on the R.
So what do you mean? What does
it
sound like? What does my R sound like?
I can't fucking
Rutabaga.
I don't know. I would have, like, the next time you, Camilla, and I are hanging out, I will just jump in and say that's it, because it's not all R's, it's just particular
just certain R's. Okay, I'll remember that. I mean, it's not the hard R, right? I mean, because I don't think I've ever said the hard R, like, you know, outside of.
Okay, we're going there. Okay, Jesus Christ, this was a mistake.
You're not going to catch me saying the hard R in anger. Never say the hard R in anger.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. So we've got Eddie says the mean streets of South Central Pennsylvania. Buddha Nature says Middleton, New York. F Kitty, Walla Walla, Washington. I think you're on the other side of the state from me. I'm so sorry.
I know when you were having the fires out that way, my mom was like, are your friends on the West Coast safe? I'm like, you're asking the equivalent of like my dad who's way upstate New York, like if he's okay because we had like a blizzard here on Long Island. Like that's how far away you were from most of that shit.
Pretty much. Like I had to worry about bad air pollution. That's it. Tess the Mess Orbing. I like that name. It says Sweden guys. Raw SoCal. Doc Strigvel. Alpharetta, Georgia. Winterbury, California. Almanac 13, Southern States, Texas.
Southern Utah. Shift happens. You're not far from the Coeting monster, are you? Interesting. Shift happens. You're close to the Coeters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Southern Utah.
Oh, okay.
Utah being another large state, so of course it may not be that close, but
why I'm not sure of why it's saying he's from Washington or what the fuck he's saying there.
Good old Central New York. Oh man.
I'm so
There's
sorry.
a lot of New Yorkers around here. What the fuck, man?
I think they just find their tribe, just like, I'm not all about this demon shit and this I'm not
about this demon shit, but you know, this guy right here, he fucking talks like me, and you know, I like it.
we have to stay with our tribe. We have to stay with the New York.
Fucking Arnie the Long Islander. Oh my god, that's fucking great.
I'm from Long Island. I am from Long Island. I should be allowed to run for president. I'm not from Argentina.
That's almost as good as the dolphin.
Fucking other.
That is almost as good as the Dolphin Kid, the Long Island, the Long Island Schwarzenegger. I fucking love it. Long Island Schwarzenegger. That's a new character. Long Island Schwarzenegger. Put it in the chat. Long Island Schwarzenegger. I'm supposed to say Schwarzenegger. Sorry, I got hit for that the other day. Schwarzenegger.
I remember being a boy and eating mini corny dogs with mustard and ketchup.
Fucking Conan quote. Mine papa would take me for blueberries in the mountains. The fucking cut scene from the Conan, the scene from Conan that was cut and it's only in the special edition. Oh shit. This is one mayonnaise stream we got here going, brother. I don't know what to do.
Hey yo, Vinny. Yeah, we fucking hit the weird part of this.
Boopity boppity, huh?
We hit the weird part of the stream and we stayed in the weird part of the stream, baby.
Yeah, we did. I came in here, roaring like a goofball, and that's where we're going tonight. Look, it's almost, the birth of the Savior, the birth of the baby Jesus, which never happened, is in a few days. Oh, no, wait, it couldn't have because it couldn't. There's a ton of really big inconsistencies why that's not true. But anyway. Oh, yeah, Doc Steidel says Arnold's Pizza Parlor. If you haven't watched the Arnold's Pizza Parlor, maybe there'll be some 9mm bullets on it. Yeah, that's old-ass internet. That's Grandpa Duke's internet right there. That's Walker internet.
Yeah, I hate that that's old school now. Just, if you don't want your pizza with pepperoni and with 9mm bullets on it, I will kill you.
Yeah, Lil, I understand. Lil says, I feel lost and overwhelmed sometimes, so any help is appreciated. In Tennessee, there isn't anyone to talk to. Thank you. I mean, my wife and I are looking to flee the living ever fuck out of New York, especially with the way things are going in the world. But we don't want to land in some place where they thump Bibles instead. It's really depressing because it's everywhere we look, it's okay, we could get away from this, but then we would be jumping out of the frying pan in the fire. If they saw this through the window, I might get a brick thrown at it. And I'm not saying that's how it is everywhere, but I totally can understand that. But you know what? I feel like I might be able to assimilate and hide better in an area like that than I could say in Midtown Manhattan by comparison. And I used to love Manhattan. Once upon a time, I was a New York City kid. I used to love going to the city. Now when I go there, I just feel like I've gone into where the zombies are. I just can't do it.
Okay, so out of curiosity, because I feel like that's true with a lot of us, where it's hard to find your tribe in these days and ages. Because that's kind of the reason why every time you talk about it, I'm like, I don't want to go out there because, I don't know if I'm going to be safe. I don't know if I have my fucking tribe around, the way I live my life and just the person that I was born as, the person that I am. I don't know if I'm going to be, if it's going to be very easy for me down there. How would you say is a good way to kind of find your tribe in your local
dude, I'll
community?
let you know when I figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I mean, I would say if you're talking just East Coast, I mean, Florida would probably welcome you, especially Miami and all that stuff. They're very, it's an interesting mix in Florida, dude.
DH.
Oh,
there's
right.
certain levels I'm prepared to go to. Florida is not one of them. I love you, all of our Florida viewers.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always hated it, but as I get older, it's kind of like Highlander. Did you ever watch the movie Highlander?
Well, that's because it's a fucking retirement state.
That's what I was getting at. It's kind of like
getting older.
It's that's Southern New York. Florida is God's waiting room, also known as Southern New York and Southern New Jersey. Yeah, it's like Highlander. You feel this inextricable call to a faraway land, and for some reason, it's Florida. Come on, wifey, we're going to Florida.
I feel gross just hearing that.
Yeah, so do I. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I want to fight a gator or stick my dick in a beehive or anything like that.
Watch out for business.
Real quick,
She'll be laughing again in a minute when I say what she just said. Jacob Dow says, weirder the better. Cover a baby Jesus and mustard. Yeah, baby. Especially honey mustard. That shit's good.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But yeah, so wait a minute. That's some pedo ass shit. We don't talk like that around here. What are you saying? But yeah, so, okay.
Hey, I would eat the fuck
I
out of
want to get
some
out of New
baby
York.
Jesus back ribs.
Baby Jesus back ribs. Buddha Nature says DH Orange County, New York is more friendly. I mean, it is. There's parts of New York I love. The problem is it's still New York, and New York is ruled by Albany and New York City, and you can't get away from it. And it's like, as much as I like where I am actually isn't that bad. Like it's like Long Island isn't the part of Long Island I'm in isn't that bad. It's getting overcrowded, and it's like if you look at my area on a map, I feel like I'm on Coruscant. That's how fucking populated it is. But it's not that bad. Like socially, it's not that bad. In fact, my wife and I went grocery shopping.
You're on the outskirts of Coruscant.
No, not exactly. Coruscant ends like about 10 or 15 miles east of me. It starts to thin out. It's still very thick here. This is light city here. Like if you came here, you'd be like, I thought this was the suburbs. Like it is. There's no high rises, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Like there's no, the quiet here is because you have like soundproofed houses. It's really not quiet here.
Oh.
Like I couldn't, like when you go upstate and you have actual silence, it's a little scary at first. Like it's like, don't talk, just shh.
It's like, I understand and I'm going to take your word for it, but also just, I don't know. I've seen where you are on Google Earth and I've seen where I came from on Google Earth, and I feel like they're very different.
As in what way? Like more city for you or less?
San Jose, California.
Yeah, I'm a typical American in New York. I feel like everywhere is New York, or I don't know anything about it. So define what that means.
Trees are a story that we told people.
Yeah, so for you, it's a little bit greener here than where you grew up.
Okay. Apparently Google lies. Wouldn't it be the first time?
What, that it's greener here?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't
I
look
don't know
that
either.
way.
You said the trees were a story that you heard about, like where you are. Or are you talking about where I am?
Yeah, where I was. You didn't seem like you were like, don't get me wrong, still crowded, but like not like that kind of crowded.
It is. I mean, do you hear it going
As
by?
I hear a train going by, just to accentuate your fucking point. God damn it. You summoned that, you bitch.
I mean, I do watch the clock. Yeah, I know Orange County is definitely the woods and stuff, but the problem is it's still New York, where I am. I used to use the username on different things of Caput Lupinum because that means outlaw. Because when New York State passed the New York Safe Act, I was immediately illegal about something, like right away. So of course I had a boating accident, so I'm totally above board now. But I lost a lot of good things that day. But the point is that I don't foresee myself dying here. I've even told my wife, don't let me die here. Like anything else, don't let me die here. I don't care if I die unhappy somewhere else. I just want to know I left. That's what I want to do. I want to get the fuck out of here. I thought PA for a while, and Eddie was like squeeing over that, but PA is kind of like New York light, and there's things I like about it. There's things I hate about it. Like I love parts of Philly, but I also hate parts of Philly, and I don't know where I would go. I think part of the problem is that everybody's just crazy everywhere right now, and there is no place beautiful anymore. Like it's like the places that I'd want to go, there's something about them that would just make me just unhappy. I just know there is. Like you're saying, like there's no place, like who do you talk to? Like where do I mean, I don't have these conversations with people I walk around with, though. I got to tell you, I live in New York. If I walk out on the street and start talking about this stuff, people just look at you like you're crazy, so I don't talk about it. You go to a new age shop, a magic occult shop that you'd think they're like on every corner, there's crystal shops and shit. You go in there with any of this stuff going on, and for the most part, you get hurried out. or tolerated.
You get tolerating nods and confused eyes. Mm-hmm. But that's the really hard part, is because, so is exactly this, I've worn this around town, and I've had people just like, fuck yes, I like you immediately. Somebody who watches this channel, Cameron, you know who you are. We started having a personal like conversation and everything off of me wearing this fucking shirt and like, oh, you're like me. That's really hard to do though when you're somewhere where you feel like you will be singled out for exactly that. It's fucking tough. I don't know the answer to that, and I was hoping maybe you would know, but it's
Gotta,
one of life's difficulties.
People, especially like me, for whatever reason, I mean, you should see my wife and I going through the grocery store. It's like the Addams Family going to the grocery store. It's like you could do a sitcom on us. People stare, and at first you think they're staring derogatorily, but then someone will come up to you and be like, "Where do you get a coat like that? That is really nice," especially to my wife.
It's
it's not as judgy as you'd think,
Yeah.
which is nice, but we don't blend. Like, we don't blend anywhere. Like, I don't blend in the city. I don't blend in the country. I blend nowhere.
It actually is amazing, I think, how many people are weirder than you think and accepting of things.
But they don't outward it.
Yeah, a lot of people have a barrier of not wanting to project that out. They're want
conforming.
to play.
They're afraid to stick out from the herd because they don't want to get eaten by the predators. It's a subconscious thing.
It's a fucking gray man mentality, and just like, not saying right or wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, my personal choice has been, it's a lot more fulfilling to not be a gray man in certain aspects. I'm just gonna fucking be weird and be fucking speed date socially. It's like, oh, this is my weird. You don't like that? We probably wouldn't get along.
Buddha Nature brings up the Freemasons. I've got a friend who's going, I don't want to say too much, obviously, is going pretty far through that. And they've got me interested. I'm tempted to go look up and see what I can do. I'm not into it for like the money shit, or any of that nonsense. I'm looking to see what they've got. I know there's some Rosicrucianism and stuff in there. I'm looking to see what they've got and what I could even offer, believe it or not, to them, and see what they would be interested in, because I know that there are both secular, Freemasons, but then the deeper stuff gets a little bit more mystical and weird, and I'd like to definitely, engage with those people at some point. So, whether I join or not, I don't know, but I'd like to engage with that element and see what's up. But Jacob says, move to super liberal Canada. I am libertarian liberal, but not economically liberal. So I don't like the way Canada's throwing people in camps and shit at this point, just about for COVID shit. I don't want to talk about that right now, but I know people in Canada that are pissed, and I don't think my wife could handle the cold. Although I will say one of my favorite TV shows is Trailer Park Boys. So maybe there's parts of Canada I would like.
That would be the reasoning for it.
And Russia's pretty cool.
you guys should just come and visit me. It'll be like Canada Light.
Yeah, good point.
I really feel like if you've ever watched The Birdcage with Robin Williams, and I'm not.
No, I love that movie.
Okay, good. I'm not comparing you to the senator directly in that way, but I'm
You'd
saying
be so shocked.
I am saying it would be a senator-like experience in a Birdcagian context of, you don't think you'd be for it, and then I'm going to get you out of here. We're going to go on a legal ayahuasca journey. We're going to like see the big cities and see all of what my town has to offer, and you're going to just be, by the end of the night, you're going to be in drag and just, it's my party and I'll dance if I want.
See, for a second there, I thought you were coming at it from the rainbow direction. I'm like, dude, I used to hang out with goth clubs where like every other person was trans and gay and weird shit. Man, it's fine.
No,
I know what
obviously,
you mean.
I know you don't have.
I didn't know that's what you meant.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm an ignorant 45-year-old boomerish type of guy. I'm getting there. I admit it.
Admitting it is the first step of the problem.
First step of the problem.
You know what I meant. My fucking tongue is stupid.
Well, not according to whoever that was last night that messaged me saying that I need to. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna glaze right over that and go to a question.
What kind of glaze are you using there, Flushing?
Nothing. Wyatt Coverdale says, if the magicians, good scientists, and philosophers were to all join together and conquer one area for them to live in, where would it be? And would they flourish? I'd say we go for India.
That's kind of what happened already. That's what India was. I mean, go to India and you'll see that, like, India is a very fascinating place that I think is way underrated. I mean, yes, civilization wise, it's kind of backwards because it's been like stepped on by colonial shit. But India is, I wouldn't say the birthplace, but absolutely one of the repositories for mystical and spiritual and intellectualism throughout human history. Just India has, maybe I'm wrong, but my impression of India is that, you know, you have the extremes. You of course have total ignorance and fools and poverty and everything else. But what I find interesting about India, for all of its flaws, and there's many flaws. You got the caste system and all that shit. Don't get me wrong. But India has been a repository for certain intellectualism that was frowned upon in the West in particular for a very, very long time. Like, you could talk about stuff in India that you, like, you know, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Maybe there was holy wars and shit, but I don't think so. You know, I don't think people were burned at the stake for saying they were God there. In fact, I think that's kind of what they think is the default, the default understanding. Maybe I just have an outsider's perspective and I don't know. If anybody's from India or knows, I know that Morpheus Dark Sun, who's occasionally active around our community, could maybe tell me. I think he's from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I haven't, you know, I know of him. I watched a couple of his videos, but it's been a while. I don't know what he would have to say on it, but I know I have talked to some Indian viewers who claimed that, you know, if they were open about what they practiced, where they specifically live, it would not be a good time trademark symbol. You know, and then others, it just seems like it's not a big deal whatsoever. So I really don't know what to make of it. But obviously, India is a big fucking place and is going to be very diverse.
Well, the other interesting thing is, you know, what we take for granted here, they think is special there. And what they take for granted there, we take as special here. You know, the whole big thing in the 60s was Indian mysticism came over the waters and the Beatles got into it. And, you know, Alan Watts got big and all this shit. And you had all these hippies getting into it, and they were falling for like the charlatan gurus that weren't real and all this kind of stuff. Like they got played. And the people who lived there were like, you know, like, you guys are all weirded out and wowed out by being told you're God. Well, we get told that when we were kids. Like, what's, you know, we know this already, man. Relax. So you have no chill, white people. What the fuck? So, you know, I don't know, man.
You don't have to
Wyatt Coverdale says the Masons aren't really that interesting. It's just Christianity with another name. In fact, you can't realize there's a little bit, not quite. Yeah. Eddie points out you do have to believe in a higher power, and there are different lodges believe different things, different gatherings believe different things. You have very secular ones who are just there, you know, the porch Masons, if you will, the guys who just get in and they just become part of the fraternity and shit. Rosicrucianism plays a big role in it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie probably knows better. I think the Golden Dawn or something, was it the Golden Dawn? Some element of Crowley lore, the stuff that he got involved in, borrowed from the secret societies of Freemasonry. And you have to also understand that Freemasonry and the actual Illuminati are like, at one point like this, they're very tightly interwoven. And I do believe the Illuminati was a Luciferian Enlightenment based thing. It wasn't a bad guy thing. It was actually a good guy thing, in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get one of them to show up one day and tell me what it is. So the real ones, not the, you know, become rich by joining the Illuminati people.
Yeah, you know, I've kind of like dipped my toe as far as interest in the Freemasons, because some of the things I've heard make it sound really cool, and it seems like it's very dependent on your specific lodge that you're going to, because some people seem like, hey, they're kind of into hard style, and I'm more into drum and bass, but I could still vibe with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it seems like it's groovy, but then others are just like, oh God, fucking old white man club.
Right. So Eddie just pointed out that I got to jump in. He just pointed out Golden Dawn grew right out of the Freemasons. But go ahead, I want to touch on that. But finish what you were saying, Fleshy.
Yeah, no. Every time I think Freemasons, and I'm sorry for those of you out there who are Freemasons, I just hear my fucking granddad, who is like apparently pretty high ranking with the Masons, just like, yeah, you got to join the Masons. I love you, granddad. Rest in peace. I just hear that, like, okay, I don't need your finger sandwiches from the fucking Oh, old man's
My
club.
great granduncle was who's really basically my great grandfather because he raised my grandmother, was one of the richest people on the planet at the time, and he was a 33rd degree Mason, and he's recorded in the annals of Masonry.
See,
But
that shit sounds like Dragon Ball Z power levels to me. It's just like,
yeah,
oh, your power level's only 5,000. Mine is
Yeah.
at 6,200. I can't take him seriously.
yeah. I mean, people are so Eddie says the Golden Dawn grew right out of the Freemasons, which is why it's replete with all. You have to understand for during the period when all of this stuff was born, what did they actually have to work with? Christianity had swept the intellectual world clean of anything heretical. The only things that were there were little snippets of mythology from paganism, yes, you know, like from Greek stuff, Roman stuff, and you had you know, folklore shit, but a lot of it was completely stamped out. And it wasn't until like the 20s or so that Egyptology really got big, and we started to have something older than the Greeks and the Romans to look at. And then forget Sumerian shit; they didn't even have a taste of that shit. So the Golden Dawn was talking in the language of the age. And I wouldn't be surprised if Freemasonry is the same way. I believe, to my understanding, and I could be wrong, I don't know, I'm not a Mason. I believe that Masonry requires a sort of deism going on. Now, deism, that can include Gnosticism and stuff. I don't know. I'd have to really look it up. You know, there's people who know a lot more. You know, this is not my forte. I'd probably need to get a couple of interesting people on to really talk about it. Yeah, we'd have to really look. But people are talking about the Vatican. The Vatican has books that we'll never know about, that they won't share with the world, stuff that would tell us yes or no about a lot of stuff if we were allowed to read them. You have what's his name? Oh my goodness, he did the heavy metal album. He was in Lord of the Rings. What's his Christopher? What's his fucking name? Not Christopher Reeves, not Christopher Lloyd. He played fucking Sauron or whatever. Fucking, my wife's gonna come over in a second because she'll know. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, he had a really badass occult library too. So you know, maybe if we can get a handle on his, we can find out. But oh, good, Fleshy's back. I've just been rambling the whole time.
And now you must ask yourself,
Christopher Lee, thank you, sweetie.
Is it really any different if Fleshy was there or if he was not?
Yeah, but you believe it or not, I read your energy while I'm talking, and I treat you like you're my surrogate audience. And
oh yeah, no, I get it. I channel the audience while I'm doing this.
That's right. I see you doing it too. Like you're gazing at your orb right while we're talking.
Fucking somebody, if you're watching, you know who you are, offered me a teaching position in a certain occult thing recently. I'm just like, I'm not qualified for that. They're like, oh, I think you're more qualified. That no, I don't think you. No, I'm just as stupid as you, as I play on camera.
That's fucked up. Nobody offered me a teaching position. I'm jelly now. What the fuck? I don't want it anyway.
You're more intimidating to get a hold of. They just see this idiot on camera and they're like, oh, we can approach him.
Oh, are you calling me an idiot or you? No, I'm kidding.
No, me. Me.
See, why are you calling yourself an idiot? Don't do that.
It's so that I can lower people's expectations so I can surprise them later.
So you are being anti-humble, yes.
Ah, yes.
Very, very, very naughty.
So what the fuck? We were talking about the Masons, and that's not very groovy. We should get on something groovier.
Yeah, I don't really know enough about the Masons to really talk about it, to be honest. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. So.
Yeah, so it's kind of just, yeah. I feel like that's kind of the detriment of just asking anybody who's a Mason, of just like, yeah, so what's it like? Oh, well, you know.
Stuff. I mean, it's interesting because there's a lot of open Masons that whatever they'll tell you, they can't tell you stuff, but they'll wear the rings, they'll have this and that. You know, we've got a temple in every town, for fuck's sake, you know. It's like, it's not like you don't know they're there. You know, so they're not that secretive. They're just you know.
Well, it's a cool fucking thing to be in, but you know, like you want everybody to know that you're in the club, but
Oh yeah. For sure.
I feel like that's how a lot of this shit it just goes. I feel like we should make a secret club.
We've already done that,
another-
Fleshy. It's just
yeah.
you didn't know about it. I mean,
Oh,
Mr. Teacher, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
oh, piss off! I didn't accept the role.
But they asked you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm offended, but I'm kidding.
So I have
I'm cursing them right now in my soul. I'm kidding, but I am, but I'm not. Damn it, Eddie. No, just kidding.
They're working with the intro boss before they work up to the end. That's what it is.
They're hoping to get you right.
I feel like that's what some of the people who come on here just like God is mighty and God will smite you down, you heathens. They're just like they're trying to level up off what they perceive as some of the low level bosses before working up to I don't know, isn't there bigger things going on in the world? Are we really causing that much of a I mean we are, but you know.
I have it on really good authority that I am one of the most wholesome evil people you're ever going to meet. So whatever they think, they're wrong. So yeah, no, I'm a little too wholesome actually. I'm boring when it comes to that stuff. Like people come here expecting me to be like, sacrifice your firstborn to the devil, and it's like, don't do that. Is what I'm saying instead. That is wrong.
It's like you guys don't understand. I'm down for worshiping the devil. I'm sorry, let me walk that back. I'm down for fucking communing with the devil, but you know, fucking love each other, brother. I feel like I slowly segued into fucking Macho Man a little bit there. So
no, that was Hulk. That was no.
Oh my
Macho
God,
Man.
I
That was
fucked
Hulk.
up. Yes, you're right.
I should know. That was big when
I
I was a kid. That's how old I am. It was all fucking Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Andre the Giant and fucking
oh fuck yes,
what's his name? George the Animal Steel and Ultimate Warrior. This is before Undertaker even, man. It was some good shit. Dude, we had the fucking Iron Sheik and we had fucking Coco Beware fucking going like this on the turnbuckle, and we had fucking Jim the Hacksaw Duggan with the big fucking 2x4. Look this shit up. You missed out on some funny shit, dude, man. That was the time to watch wrestling and all that. I won't watch it today. It's like stupid now. Like, I mean, it was stupid then. It was really stupid then, but you knew it was stupid.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'd accept that. It actually seemed pretty fucking great. The theater of it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm gonna get to a question, but just because you reminded me, Andre the Giant wrestling Princess Bride, because that's more my speed. Because I'm gay. Because I am a rainbow, I connect more with the Princess Bride than wrestling.
I think even straight people do, bro. It's not.
I mean, yeah, I'm not.
It's not owned by the rainbow.
I'm not saying we have sole ownership of it. I'm just saying that we gravitate more towards it. You know, it has a gravitas that, you know.
I will agree, because all of the gay dudes I knew growing up, that were like the like, I don't know if you call it the male or the top or whatever the fuck, but the more masculine side of the equation of that always gravitated towards being like fucking what's his name from that. So they all wanted to be the pirate, like they always wanted to be.
Oh yeah, Wesley.
Yeah, they always wanted to be Wesley, always.
Yeah, I recently learned that this has nothing to do with this live stream. Just a fun fact I thought you all might enjoy is that the guy who played Inigo Montoya, when he delivered that line at the very end, spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, fuck you, go watch it.
Yeah, fucking watch it like right now. Like normally I'd say wait till the stream is over. Turn the stream off, go watch Princess Bride.
That's an immaculate movie. That movie is like Jaws, like in the lineup of perfect movies, like Close Encounters, Jaws, Princess Bride, Legend. Like those are like perfect movies. They're immaculate. Just watch them.
But so at the very end, when he, you know, is wounding the six-fingered man and says like, offer me money, offer me power, offer me status, all this. And he's like, yes, everything, anything you want. I want my father back, you son of a bitch, right before killing him. Apparently the actor his father actually died of cancer when he was young, and he
Oh.
said when he delivered that line, he imagined that the other guy was the cancer that killed his father.
That's why it was so powerful, because he really channeled that shit.
Yeah, holy shit. That explains why I cry when I hear that line.
That's a great line. No, dude. Like, I remember in that movie, I'm like, I want him to save me if I ever get kidnapped, motherfucker. Him. Like, yes. Like, totally. Like, I would definitely sick him on somebody I didn't like. Like, I would definitely, you know, oh, he's a six-finger man. Just put a finger on him.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, my God. Cannot be overstated what a good fucking movie that is. And Jacob Dow says, South Park Woodland Critters, anyone? LOL, JK.
Yeah, I mean, we're only a few shades away from that around here, man. We don't do all that stuff, but they're definitely outside watching us right now through the window, like, for sure. And if you haven't seen that episode,
it's been a hot fucking second. Can you remind me of the context?
They start off all cute, and it turns out they're the most demented, sick, depraved little creatures that you've ever seen. That are like, I mean, you have to see it now.
Well, you're like the foil of that. So I remembered that, but I guess I just didn't understand how he was applying it. You're like the foil, where you seem all demented and shit, but really you're just cute and cuddly.
You know what it is? I'm like the Satan that sits in hell watching all of the orgies going on and not taking part in any of it, because I'm just like, motherfuckers and your addictions and shit. God damn. Oh, Glarnog, turn him over. He's not finished cooking on the other side.
So
what fools these mortals be.
I mean, is that not the point of being mortal? Is to be foolish? Long mustache stroke.
Tushy. I mean, touche.
So we have a question from Wyatt Coverdale. This came from a little while ago. He said, Oblivion can be fully and entirely described and understood in a factual way. It just cannot be experienced. You can know what death is, but you cannot be in death while alive.
Oblivion. You can never have an experience called non-experience. So the concept of Oblivion being that is like saying that nothing is real. Oblivion is the state, yes, of non-existence, but what that means is not what it sounds like. Non-existence in the egoistic sense, not in the absolute literal sense. So when you go to oblivion, we'll say, you don't go to oblivion, we'll say when you attain the state of oblivion, you have completely disobjectified your reality, and you are just consciousness, perfectly at peace, without any desires, any concerns, without anything that you would understand in a mortal context. And so from the mortal perspective, it looks like a gap. It looks like an empty spot. It looks like nothing happened because there's nothing to have a relationship with in the mortal sense. So oblivion is not the absence of experience. It only looks like that on the experiential side. It is not something that cannot be, in the sense that, like, oh, you can go there and cease to, like, oh, I stopped existing. What you're longing for when you long for oblivion is disobjectification. You're not actually longing for non-existence in the literal sense. You're longing for it in the egoistic sense. And you'll feel like this is where like voidism comes in, I think. I think that's where people want to just throw themselves into the void and cease existing because they just hate everything so much. They don't even realize what they're thinking, right? It's a little bit like when someone says, I want to separate from the source, not realizing what the source is. It'd be like separating from your consciousness. How do you separate from your consciousness? It's ridiculous to even say.
Would you say it's more accurately described as a desire for non-attachment as opposed to
Sure.
a desire for non-existence?
Yeah, no, sure. I would say that that's a fair way to describe it. It's attachment to egoism is what keeps you grounded in the materialistic mortal dream. It's only through disobjectification, which is dissolution of ego, is part of it. So there's different versions of it. You can have, so the best one, according to the Zen mind, is to be fully experiencing the illusion of Maya, but also your true self at the same time. That is mindfulness, where you are fully aware of everything going on, but you're disobjectified while you're having that experience. That's actually kind of not hard to achieve. A little bit of practice. You can actually do it when you're driving a car and not realizing you're doing it. It's not that hard. People do it all the time. It's just knowing that you're doing it. That's the trick. Samadhi is very similar. But this is why all of these different... When you achieve that state of gnosis, we'll say, that's one word you could use for it, or samadhi, or zen, or satori, whichever words you like, because they're all different ways of saying something pretty similar. There are differences, at least according to the ones who identify with them, we'll say, egoistically. Unfortunately, there is a lot of similarity, but when you have the non-dual experience, when you have disobjectification, you just know what I'm saying, right? It'll just pop for you. You'll just go, oh, okay, I get that. And maybe for some people that's a shroom, and maybe for some people it's 10 years facing a wall going, it's different for everybody. You might want to try the whirling dervish method of the Sufis. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Only the ego thinks that it's an objective to get rid of the ego. It's a very egotistical thing to think that you need to be destroyed. It's a very egotistical thing to look down on ego. All of these things are paradoxical but true. They sound like they're not true, but they are. Because when you get there, you realize that it is. People say, Thorne, you're such an arrogant, egotistical bastard. I'm like, well, that's what Thorne is. It's a mask. That mask behaves, especially online, as an arrogant, egotistical asshole. Because that's the game. And I'm in here going, boop, 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 piss that guy off, boop, 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 boop. Now, you know when that's a problem, though. When I become attached to that Mario dude jumping on all your heads, and you say something back and it actually, I feel like you've hurt me, that's when I've failed. Not when I'm being a dick. I know that sounds callous, but it's a fact. When I'm actually failing is when you make a little snarky comment instead of just going, what a dick, delete, or whatever. When it actually echoes in my head and I go, are they right? Am I an asshole? Of course I'm not an asshole. I'm not this guy. You can't do anything to the real me. I can't do anything to the real you. You have to, as we say, step back. Almost like someone who has an out-of-body experience in a car accident or something. Like as they're having, like my wife talks about, she had a car accident one time, and while it was happening, she got ejected from it, was like third person for a second. You almost have to do that. Maybe not literally, but in a metaphorical sense. When you've done that, you're no longer attached to it. Now, someone who doesn't understand will then say, well, then what's stopping you from being a bigger dick? Why don't you behave better? Blah, 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 blah. Non-attachment doesn't mean nihilism. It doesn't mean you don't care. What it means is, if you're watching a movie and the main character gets shot and dies, you feel bad, but you don't feel like you died.
It's you don't have a win condition. I would like this to happen, but if something happens that prevents that, I can do something else. It's okay. I can keep going.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, that's like, that's the copium answer. Not to belittle it, but that's the entry. That's what gets
fair.
like you're seeking that, but what you end up with in the end is, this is all good. I don't give a fuck. Oh, cut that fucking thing off. Oh, that sucks. Holy shit, look at the bone. That's the ultimate, that's the ultimate. I'm joking, obviously.
Yeah.
You still take it seriously, but you take it seriously like you're borrowing your friend's car versus it's your car.
Oh, yeah, and we all know how we drive rentals.
Right?
A car accident is still a very serious thing, but at the same time, it's not my car.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
So
it.
you're not gonna light it on fire. I mean, rental's maybe not the best example, but it's the right idea. I say a friend's car because you will still care about your friend's car, but it doesn't actually hurt. Like, you'll go to bed that night feeling a little bad, but you're not suffering like, oh my God, I gotta buy a new car now, the insurance and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, sorry, Flashy, I'll buy you a steak dinner in a month. So
Yeah.
it's a little different. It's a little different. And it's a shift in perspective, not an actual shift in reality. People make the misunderstanding. When you have enlightened, you're completely changed. You can do no wrong. You're a purified. Nope. In the
Absolutely fucking wrong.
in the moment of enlightenment, you can feel like that a little bit because you realize, hey, I'm divine. That's great. But no, what actually happens is not the opposite, but a shifting of perspective. The world is exactly the same as it was before, but now you see it in a different way. Flesh Priest still looks like Flesh Priest, but now I intuitively know somewhere in my psyche, in my experience, that Flesh Priest is just the other side of me, like this palm of my hand is the other side of me from where I'm sitting. I don't feel like we're two. I will think that way quite often. You can tell when I'm in different states when I'm feeling it. But I'm not an enlightened ascended master who's constantly in the state of non-dual gnosis. Nobody is. Anybody who's been that way, that's not permanent. It's like they go, like the Buddha, for example. They go there, but they will still drift back and forth. They don't fully detached. They're still there a little bit. Only when their body cuts out and they go, I'm done, that's the final plateau. Maybe they reincarnate again, maybe they don't. That's the point. Who's reincarnating? There's no one to reincarnate when you've completely disobjectified yourself. But reincarnation may still happen, just not to you. It's like you finished the story of this character and now you can play any other one you want. Maybe you'll play an angel next time. Maybe you'll be Zeus. Maybe you'll be a fucking duck with a corkscrew dick. I don't fucking know, but you'll be there.
Or you could also be a hippo doing this.
Yeah, we're doing the hippo fisting job.
Asarte Azeroth with the super chat. She says, my super sticker has nothing to do with fisting, just saying.
Yes, it does, or you wouldn't pick it over and over again.
I actually felt it was a little synchronistic because the moment that came up, I was doing like this, like.
Are you the hippo?
I don't know anymore.
Are you the horny hippo? Have you ever seen the hippo fart that sounds like a Hyundai taking off with a
I have, muffler? Yes. That sounds like an old fucking crank motor trying to get going. Dude, I watched a guy at the zoo get hit by hippo shit from like 30 feet away. It got on his camera and everything. He was so pissed.
Oof.
It's a thing.
I don't know, man. I love me some animals, but there's some animals I won't go near. Hippos are one of them. They kill more people than fucking COVID at this point. I mean, they're pretty bad.
Yeah. You know what? Mine is still snakes, and I'm looking forward to you guys breaking me of that, and I hope it's not a 1984 fucking rats in a box scenario when you break.
You know what'll probably happen? You'll probably be holding it and be warming up to it and be like, they are kind of cute. And then you'll hear the sound of a snake fart and the smell will hit you and you'll never like a snake again. That'll be it.
That was the first fucking thing. I have a good buddy who the first time I was hanging out at his house as a kid, they found a snake in their yard, and I was freaking out because, oh my God, it's a snake. That's like mortal fear for me. And he just wanted to grab it, and his mom was like, "No, no, no, no! Don't grab it from there. Grab it by the tail so it doesn't shit on you. Like that's like the last place you want to grab it by. It will, it will fucking bite you, you fucking lunatics. You people are, you belong in like Alabama or something. I don't know. I love you, Alabama viewers.
I mean, you know, Bama gets a bad rap, but Bama people are pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to check it out too. I'm gonna have to widen my horizons and just accept that somewhere and everywhere might be cool, even the places I hate.
Yes, Washington, Washington.
I would love Washington, except I know that, like, you know, that's on the chopping block. I don't want to be anywhere near when this fucking balkanization crap starts happening. I don't want to be anywhere near any of those places. I don't know. Look, all I know is I want to flee New York.
You,
Look, I'm gonna be Pliskin. I'm gonna be Snake Pliskin, and I gotta escape New York. That's the bottom line.
You know what? You can come to Washington and just stay east of the Cascades because that's basically a different state.
True. I've heard something to that effect.
Ooh.
Well, where was Wolverines in you know, in Red Dawn? Where was that? Was that Washington or was that?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Well, now I have to look it up.
And while you're looking it up, thank you very much, Jojo, for the super chat. We have a question. By the way, Wyatt, I also noticed that one that you just sent, and we will get to that after the super chat. Jojo asks, what do you think about these websites that sell, quote, spirit companions?
You know, I wish I knew better what exactly you were talking about.
Yeah, like, yeah, while he's pulling this up, if you could, Jojo, if you could give us a little bit more context, like, are you talking about people who, you know, do a ritual for you to, you know, gain you a familiar, or are you talking about something else, just out of curiosity?
You know, Etsy hasn't been working for me lately. Is Etsy down for other people or just me?
I haven't noticed. I haven't checked on in a while.
So it's got to be something with my browser. What the hell? Whenever I try to go to Etsy, it doesn't work.
What browser are you using?
Chrome. Yeah, Etsy's working on my phone,
Ooh,
Chrome, but it's not working on my computer, Chrome. Well, Chrome's got all my fucking apps and shit, dude. That's the only reason. I know. I hate Google. I hate them. There is no right answer to this question.
Chromium. Brave.
Yeah.
A better world is out there.
But does it have, can I just transfer all my everything from Chrome into it? Does it have like ad blocker and
more or less? Brave supports all the fucking Google plugins. So yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I will. Dude, what about all my passwords and shit that are on Chrome?
I mean, I think you still have to like manually do that as you log into sites, but yeah, no, it will still save all that shit and everything. Like honestly, just fucking everybody, just use Brave. Use Brave. Like it's going to just be easy for you, and it's so much better than Chrome. Even if you're not into the everything else, like it's fucking so much better than Chrome. Just resource management, if nothing else. Doesn't fucking.
This is really weird. I can't on Chrome at all. I cannot use Etsy at all. It's like it doesn't exist. It's like the site's down.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
And the reason I'm trying to look is because when I looked up Spirit Companions, that's the only place. It's not working for my whatchamacallit, whatever the default Windows browser is either. So what
Edge?
The hell? Do I have a virus? You used to be my favorite. Now I'm mad at you. All right, let's see.
Yeah, the VPNs are weird for reasons that are probably going to bore fucking everybody watching, and I've already ranted about Brave, so everybody download Brave. So yeah, I won't go into it, but yeah.
Okay, here we have, I don't know if this is what he's talking about. Adorable Kobold Spirit Companion. Is that what they're talking about? Like, is this
Yeah,
is this a fucking TikTok thing?
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't notice initially, but they have actually gotten back to us, and we do have another super chat from Jacob Dow after we've explored this. So Jojo in response says, yes, I think it's something like a familiar. Satan and Sons sells them. And there's some other sites too. So we're gonna look that up real quick.
I mean, maybe while you're looking it up, I'm looking it up too, but I mean, I gotta say, guys, I sell services that include, at least I used to, I stopped doing it for a little while, especially for the holidays. There's actually someone who's listening, or at least was when I started, who purchased a familiar from me, and it's a ritual that was done for them. I provide an object in which the familiar is anchored. I work with the spirit for you. I do a big ritual for you. You see it on video. You can basically validate that it was done through the video and the object. It's almost as good. It's not as good as being here with me, but it's the next best thing. It's the only thing we can do online. I send you the object with it in it, care and feeding instructions, the whole works. And of course, you've got to sense it and work with it from then on. I even tell you how to do that. Someone selling you for $50 a trinket that they say is from your spirit companion is probably full of shit. Probably. Not definitely, but probably. I believe buyer beware with anything that's a spiritual service, especially since my philosophy foundationally is you should do it yourself. Some people, for whatever reason, there are valid reasons to hire a professional. There are. That's why I do offer the services I offer. But I don't like doing them. But if I'm going to do them, you're going to pay me. And I don't charge what some of these other people. There's people who, like I put on my Discord the other day, there's people on Etsy that'll charge $3,000. $3,000 for a pact with Lucifer that consists of getting an email saying it was done. You feel me? And people have bought this thing.
Dude, everything is a grift. Everything is grift.
Look, grift isn't even a bad thing unless it's a fucking ripoff, okay? Like making a living off of shit ain't necessarily a bad thing. It's when you are lying to people that pisses me off. And Billy Goat says frauds. Exactly. I would rather talk you out of my services 9 out of 10 times than actually be like, here you go. There's so many people. I've got stacks of emails where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to help you. Sorry. Some people, I know the ones I want to help. I'll get an email. I'll be like, I'm going to help this person. I'm getting a call. Got to do this ritual. Most of the time, though, it's a big no. I've had people like, I'll pay you $300 for the ritual that you say 100. Just please do it. Nope. No amount of money is going to change your life that way. This is not a computer where if you throw money at it, the hard drive fixes itself, because that really happens, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Fleshy probably knows.
So out of curiosity, I looked at them a little bit, and so we're not exactly singling out this website. We don't know anything about them. Just this was the example given to us. So I'm seeing on here, Satan's Sons. Just, do you want a blue fire artisan demonic imp? Choose your vessel selection. Do you want distance binding, gemstone, Pandora bead, ring, pendant, bracelet, like linked to some type of object? I don't. So I'm assuming with all of this, it's not snake oil. It's not a ploy. Somebody is legitimately putting in the work. Somebody is wholeheartedly doing this.
Yeah. We hope.
I mean, obviously I hope, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. If somebody is legitimately doing this service, if for some reason that you could 100% prove, if they gave you video evidence or some type of evidence, which they should in most every circumstance, that the services were provided for you specifically, is this still worth the money or not? I don't know. I feel like in some cases, it's already there. It's already there. You didn't need them to provide you any of this. It's just the lube, which makes it easier for you to connect with it in some people's, viewpoint. So is it worth it? Should you go with it? Really, what are they providing you? If they're just saying, I did it, well, if that's enough for you and you have the money to throw at it, then I'm fucking happy for you and I hope it works well. Really, I think for most of these things, there needs to be a little bit more of a connection. You need to be participatory in it and not just, I fucking went on Etsy and they told me I got the magic blue demon for, my money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking over it. I refuse to critique other, websites and businesses and things. Number one, don't want the drama. That's number one. And if I don't have a relationship with the person, I won't speak about it. And if I have a relationship with them, it's probably a good one. Otherwise, I don't have a relationship with them. So you see where I'm going with this? I don't know anything about them. Maybe that's for a reason. They haven't ever reached out to me. That's for sure. So I don't know. Maybe they're great. Maybe they're not. I don't know if I'm even, I might even, I think I know of Satan and Sons. I might even be on their Facebook group. I don't know. Maybe they're cool. I don't know. I don't want to be quoted on this because I don't have an opinion, but I will say that my rules for getting professional work from anybody are: number one, most important of all, most important, there should be some form of evidence that it was done. I know some people say no results. No. Because results, I think you do the results.
Yes.
I don't think the other person's doing it for you. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong about that. But I want to see some kind of living proof that it was done. In order of preference, the most important, and this isn't just a toot my own horn, it's my minimum standard. It's the minimum that I will do. And that is to record a video of the ritual. I'm not saying there's never an exception. If it's more like a tarot reading, well, maybe I'll just take a picture of the spread. Or maybe it really depends, okay? But if it's a ritual, I want to see video evidence of that ritual. And if they say, well, my spirits don't like it, the next tier down from that is I want to see photographs of the ritual in progress with proof that it's your ritual. Because there's people out there by the hundreds that literally do a ritual one time, and they don't even do the ritual, by the way. They'll take a picture of their altar with a ritual looking setup on it. They'll take photos of that, and then they'll just reuse those photos on 100 different people.
Yeah, which is like, you know what? Ultimately, we're a bunch of chuckle fucks. So if you really want to do whatever it is, then do whatever the fuck it is that you're going to do. Get whatever services you want. And I wholeheartedly and legitimately hope that you get nothing but the best of results from it. I really, really fucking do. But yeah, also be cautious because there are a lot of snake oil salesmen, because just like he said, I could take a picture of my altar and just I could put proof that I did the ritual by just going into Photoshop and putting, I did this for XX on such and such date over it. If there's not some level of proof, at least, that you can't just easily fake like that on Photoshop or any other media manipulation outlet, be very cautious is the least of what I would say. And the most of what I would say is just don't trust them. Mm-hmm. And I actually find it funny because as we were messaging, I don't know, fuck it. This isn't you saying it. This is me fucking saying it. As we were talking about this, I just had somebody who I trusted hit me up in the DMs and say like, oh yeah, Satan's Sons, that's bad news. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I mean, and if they are, I'm not the type that's going to be, saying it. I'm not here to criticize and point fingers. I really don't give a shit. I believe in buyer beware, and in this thing, honestly, you're like salmon going upstream, and there's a lot of bears on the way. There's a lot of fishermen and bears on the way. If you want to get to the source, learn discernment. If you're not sure, you know what? Don't do it. If you have to ask, you'll never know.
Yeah. I legitimately truly believe that anything that you're trying to manifest, that, you know, anyone out there, and I love a lot of people in this community who offer services. I mean, DH, I think you would be the first one to agree with me on this, is anyone who's offering you services out there, it's nothing that you cannot do on yourself. It's maybe a blockage at the worst. You can
and
do
sometimes
it.
You need a pro for that. That is one of the that is a reason to hire a professional. But you know what? If you come to me with it and I sense a blockage, I'm not necessarily going to do the ritual for you. My goal will be then to help you remove the blockage. I see myself more as a sage or a shaman of a tribe. I'm not here to make your life change. I'm here to be like, here's the spirits, listen to them. I'm here to guide you there so you can do it. I can't stand when an accomplished magician comes to me and says, I want you to do it for me, unless it's just because they want to see how I do it or something. I will make sometimes an exception for that because it's like they want to see the art form and it helps them learn. I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say in person, it would be a different story. If you lived around me and were like, Thorne, I want to hire you for this ritual because of blah, 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 blah. Then I'm actually way more inclined to do it because then I can literally engage with you directly and I can feel and sense. Dude, and it's part of my life.
It's different energy.
Totally.
It's the difference between you being able to look me in the eye through Skype right now and say like, I appreciate you, and being able to actually physically touch my hand and give me a high five.
Yeah. And so I don't like, I'm not here to be a gatekeeper to your power. I'm not a vending machine, and I don't grant wishes. I'm not a genie in a bottle. My forte has always been theurgy first, thaumaturgy a distant third. Thaumaturgy to me is not my focus. It's actually one of the things that I dislike about magical practices is people's focus on thaumaturgy. Even though it has worked for me quite astoundingly, it's still not what I like. Number one, even if you're good at it, it's not consistent. And it's really not meant to be about getting the stuff. It's meant to be about validation of your divinity because you're on the right track. That's why you asked for that's why you did the ritual. That's what it's there for, in my opinion. You feel free to disagree in your own world, but that's my practice. My practice is if I'm doing thaumaturgy, it's because I feel guided to do it because I feel like it's going to work. And I wouldn't do that if I didn't. So when someone else comes to me with their problem, like I'm a vending machine, most of the time, you know what I hear from my spirit guides, especially my, we'll say watcher? This motherfucker doesn't need you. Not that way. They need you to say no. Tell them like it is. That's what I hear. Not do it for them and mooch the money off them. I'm poor because of it. I turn down so many damn rituals, it's not funny.
It's like I said last week, is just like, if you were really in it for the money, there would be a new fucking Demon in Review video in your playlist every fucking week. Oh my God.
I'd make that shit up.
Yeah.
I would. And I know a lot of people do. I'm sorry to tell you, a lot of people do. Or they exaggerate. Or they half-ass it. Very few people work with the spirits that they claim they do. I promise you that. Oh, I've had a lifetime experience of working with these 400 spirits. Really? I don't even have 400 friends, bro.
Dude, that's like the tech people who say like, yeah, I have so much experience with this code language and this coding language. Motherfucker, you wrote Hello World in C sharp, and you're saying you fucking have 5 years experience. Fuck you.
Now, I will put another caveat, though, on top of all of this. There's another layer of caveat. Remember what I said initially about how it's really you who makes it work? This is why the charlatan's magic works. Because all you have to do is feel the blockage removed, and whatever's going on will work for you. It's like a sigil. in chaos magic. There's not a lot to that. You make a sigil, put some energy into it, poof, jerk off on it if that's your way, or if you go into a trance, whatever, charge it, release it, burn it, gone, poof, and it happens.
That is the cruel part, is that it's bullshit, but it can work.
Yes, it can work anyway. You can have even people that I cannot fucking stand, who hate my guts, who look for every chance to fucking pick on me. You could go to them. If you believe that they'll work for you, then when they do the ritual for you and you feel that truth, that belief, your blockage may get removed and the thing that you're aiming for may happen. And that's your magical, mystical experience. And that's what you needed. And I'm okay with that. That's why you don't hear me criticizing charlatans like I'm some kind of a truth keeper. I hate that shit. I hate when you get fucking, fraud police and all this shit, because generally speaking, they're the fucking fraud. Most of the time, fraud police are the fraud. And they don't want you to know. They want to be the authority.
Fucking Facebook fact checkers.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Completely true. So here's the deal. When I'm looking at that website, $700 for a trinket that says that there's a spirit on it. Would I buy it? Well, for 3 reasons, no. One, I can do it easily for $5 or less. I can just buy the trinket. I can even find it. I can go to a jewelry store. I can go to an antique store. I can draw a picture of it. So I don't need that. That's number one. And I'm not that advanced. It's actually well within your power right now to do. You just don't know that. I do. So that's number one. Number two, $700 is a lot of fucking money to take a chance. That's number two.
Yeah. Be pragmatic.
Number three, and I'm not saying this is because they're a fraud, unless they're going to show me a video of that attachment process. My personal conviction says, or some kind of hard evidence, I've got just a personal problem with it. Satan and Sons may be top shelf. I don't know. And if they come at me now because I say that, I don't mean anything by it. I'm sure they'd have their own criticism of me. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm just telling you what I would do. And that's it. And if that's a problem for people, I do apologize. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not trying to turn you away from their work or towards it.
Yeah.
I have no opinion.
And likewise, I'm not trying to turn you away from anybody's work. I know a lot of people out there who do good services that I feel like I could stand by. A lot of people who I support out there in the community, but honestly, they are not offering you anything that you couldn't do yourself. And I feel like all the good ones will agree with that wholeheartedly, is that if you're feeling some kind of blockage in there, don't turn to these services to build you a fire. Turn to these services and the people that you appreciate because you want to support them, but also because you want help learning how to build a fire, not just that you want a fire in front of you. Mm-hmm. You have the power to do it. You really, truly do. If a fucking idiot like me can do it, trust me, you can too, because most of you are so fucking educated in the audience and know so much more than this chuckle fuck does. If I can do it, you can fucking do it. Go out there and do it. Please.
I mean, I can't. The only thing I would say that there's value in a mentor or value in experience that is important. So a beginner's mind can be dangerous, yes. But I started this when I was Wyatt's age, to put this in perspective. And when I started this, I knew way less than Wyatt did. Way less than Wyatt does. Like, I'm talking like, what this thing in sky, tell now. Like, that's how bad I was.
You were the fucking Ro Jogan.
But I had an intuitive way of knowing. I had zero education, but I had an intuitive, inquisitive mind, and I would just channel shit. And next thing I know more than the kid who studied this stuff all day. So if I can do it, so can you. Anyone can do it. This is what Fleshy's saying. I don't consider myself an idiot, but I was. Dude, I was picking my nose and wiping it on the wall when I first that's how uncouth and childish and dumb I was. Like, that's how bad I was. And I'm sitting there talking to my higher guardian angel already without even realizing it. And people go, well, Thorne's so full of himself. Listen to what he's saying. He's so proud of himself. No, I'm saying if an asshole like me can do it, you can do it much better. You know what your problem is? You lack the confidence. You lack the self-confidence, the belief, or even just the daring to try.
Ooh, good point. Very good point.
And you know, it's like we say, like, you don't want to be a dabbler. Now, what is a dabbler? A dabbler isn't someone who dares. A dabbler is someone who is inconsistent. Everyone has to dabble. I'm sorry. People say, don't be a dabbler. Well, you can't commit to something till you know. So everyone starts with a dabbling. Everybody. It's, you know why people say don't be a dabbler? Because it's like a gatekeeping line in the sand that people put there so that they can feel superior to everybody, but nobody likes to admit that they were a dabbler when they started. I haven't met a single practitioner who can honestly say they didn't dabble at first. I'm going to ask everybody who's a practitioner, did you dabble at first? Be honest. And when I say dabble, were you just like, you know, well, let me see if a candle spell will work? That's dabbling.
Oh, yeah. Dude, everybody has their fucking edgy teenage years that they don't want to admit. But, like, fucking... I'm just happy that YouTube and everything wasn't as big back then, because if that applied to practices, like, holy shit, most people would not like all of that broadcast to everybody at large.
Mm-hmm. Jojo Blair says, most people know less than Wyatt does. Well, at least Wyatt thinks so. No, I'm kidding, Wyatt. We got to pick on you too, bro.
that little Pavlov method. Like, we love you, but we also got to pick on you.
Yeah, check out Wyatt's channel, dude. You want to see something impressive? It's a 14-year-old talking like some freaking, you know, Stephen Hawking level shit. I'm not saying he's right about everything, although he'll tell you he's like, you know, quoting me a lot. Which means, does that mean I disagree with myself? I don't know. Maybe he's just quoting me wrong. But check out his little channel, okay? For a kid who's 14, I challenge a lot of you guys to do better, who are adults who've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
That's not to say he's got it all right. He really doesn't. But he's 14, dude. Like, that hits when you realize. I don't know. Wyatt, have you ever had your IQ tested, bro? Not to put you on the spot. Have you ever had your IQ tested? You got to be, yep. I'm going to say 3 standard deviations at least. You've got to be in Mensa category for sure. Like, I'm 2.5 to 3. I'm closer to 3 than 2 standard deviations. The lowest test score I got was 138. The highest was 145 when I was a kid. So you've got to be, you know, in that ballpark too, bro. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that, and I'll take precedent if he responds in chat and I see that. But yeah, I do find it pretty interesting because I know he's young, and like, he asks some questions which, all love and respect to you. From my perspective, some of the questions, like, you're at the big leagues and you're hitting balls, and some of them, you know, some of them are home runs and some of them hit kind of off to left from my perspective, but they're still hitting really far out there. Like, you got to keep in mind, a lot of people, I'm sorry, let me walk that back. Not a lot of people, but I see people on here who are like 40, 50 years old. How to summon succubus. It's like, right? Everybody starts at different levels, but this is fucking impressive. It's fucking impressive what you are, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's immature as fuck, but he's 14. But his knowledge level is very high, and he's talking about stuff even there. He's saying what he just said was very wise. He says, "I challenge you to do that too. The more you can disprove my work, the closer I get to the truth." How many 14-year-olds have that attitude? Right?
Fuck
That's
yeah,
what I'm
dude.
saying. I would hope that when I was 14, that I would have the ability to not be egoistically opposed to him and be like, fuck you for being a know-it-all, motherfucker. And I would hope that he'd be in my occult club for sure. I call it that as a joke because we didn't have a club. We had a fucking cult, but whatever.
Yeah. You know what one of the most powerful things is to not hide in the fucking shadows, but to expose yourself, potential weaknesses at all to the world, and just say, fuck it, here I am. Fucking strike me down for everything that I am wrong in, but otherwise, here I am brave enough to stand in the light. So fuck yeah. I respect you for that.
Well, maybe you do only have an IQ around 120, but maybe you've got like, maybe you're on the spectrum and that gives you a certain gift for it. Maybe you've got the savant stuff going on. So, I mean, I don't know, but you definitely, your brain is, like I said, you might have a one-track mind. And so you might have an IQ of 150 when it comes to this shit and 120 when it comes to tying your shoes. I don't know, but check it out, because that's kind of like me. When I took certain tests, my math would suck, but my English was incredible, and my logic and reasoning ability was off the charts. So no, I wasn't good at math, but it was like I had there's a version of well, first of all, I have problems with visualization, and I have a problem with remembering words. I'm having that problem right now. I have a problem remembering words. So I have a little bit of aphasia and a little bit of some other stuff. So I don't remember words, and I can't visualize very well. And math, I have almost the equivalent of dyslexia in some ways, especially when I got to do it in my head. And I'll forget order of operations. I'll do everything wrong. But ironically, if you present me with a philosophical question, to me, I'm like a laser beam. I cut through that like it's nothing. Like other people would be struggling with the basic. I'm like, that's one reason I don't like riddles, is because riddles to me are stupid. Not because they're easy. It's because half of a riddle is mind reading. What was he thinking when he asked you the question? Because you can often answer a riddle in multiple ways and still be technically correct, and that's my problem. I'll give you a technically correct answer, but I'll get it wrong because that's not what you're looking for.
You struck to the core of every great riddle lover of it's all bullshit, but we choose to play the game anyways.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because I had people go, you must not be very bright because you can't get riddles right. I'm like, no, I see through the riddles. No. That's the problem. I don't like them because when I read them, I go, yeah, but that could be 5 different things.
Yeah, riddles are fucking stupid. Dude, I love puzzle games. Puzzle games are great because it's like it forces you into these are the limitations that the creator provided. You must understand something exactly as the creator did. With riddles are great. Riddles are very open-ended, and therefore, in a manner of speaking, riddles are bullshit because they are too open-ended to deliver the point home, unless you subject yourself to the conventions of the genre, which is riddles.
Riddles, I'm not going to say that there are no good riddles. I think a good riddle has one only answer, that anything else is clearly wrong.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, a life is like a great riddle.
Right, like metaphysics is a great riddle, and there's only one answer to it. But there's a lot of ways to get there. There's a lot of interpretations of the answer too. That's why we have all these problems. My Sky Daddy will beat your Sky Daddy. They're all the same.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes, it's just the fucking Sky Daddy arguments. And hey, you know what? I just remembered.
They're all the demiurge, asshole. What are you doing?
I'm so sorry. This is coming super late. I meant to get it at the end of the convo, and this is on me. Jacob Dow hit us with the super chat a while ago, and I thank you for your patience.
Nook, motherfucker. Thank you, brother.
You're gonna know how late this is the moment I say it. He says, snake poop is weird. I used to own a 3.5-foot ball python. When its poop would dry, it would turn white and chalky.
Yeah, snake poops. Actually, well, that's the snake pee. The snake poop is poop, and it looks like cat shit, and it smells. I think it's the pee that smells, and the poop just smells a lot, but the pee smells worse. The pee is the white stuff, and I suppose the brown stuff will turn white after a while, but it's sick. If you look at it, it still looks a little bit like a rat, like the lumps and shit. It's still very rat-like because they just eat it whole and they don't really break it down. They just dissolve it, and it just dissolves into fucking a rat-shaped turd. It's like really.
The pee looks almost like an egg.
Yeah, the pee looks like an egg actually when they drop that thing out. It's pretty funky. Yeah. Well, anyway,
they're like birds. What the fuck?
Well, it's literally the same. They have a cloaca like a bird does. The difference is when a bird takes a shit, the first little bit that's white is the piss. Then there's a layer of more like just water. So like the white is the hard stuff in the piss. That's the minerals in the piss. Then comes the clear part. Then comes the greenish shit, which is the hard. The other solid waste comes out. So it's like a little packet, like when a bird shits. When a snake shits, you get the white thing, which is the piss packet. Then you get a hard, like snake, a hard snake version of a cat turd comes out. Pretty impressive stuff.
So we, I'm gonna read a comment before getting to the next super chat. Wyatt says, "You guys have no idea how dangerously high you guys are making me feel. You better stop because."
Oh no, that's part of the shadow work, brother.
You better
I'm
stop.
actually bringing that out. Because I sense that ego in you. When I watch your videos, like, you're humble, but you're egoistically humble. And it's funny because I know that character because I played him for many years.
But
so
it's okay because he says the same thing about me and I am perfect.
That's that Gemini shit again.
Oh, piss off.
So Mr. Zombie says, Thorne, an expert on bird piss and shit. Dude, Mr. Zombie, there's not a lot I'm not an expert about. I stay at Holiday Inn literally every night.
Oh, fucking shit. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. Lung butter, why are you bringing that back up?
I love lung butter.
About that.
Camilla hates lung butter.
Yeah, I'm about to hear gagging and the sound of a mechanical keyboard. Oh, well, I heard her. Lung butter. So William Latin says with the super chat, thank you, by the way. I think people are either afraid of failure or even success. Oh no. What if it works and I get eaten?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think in a way what he says is true is I think I think some people they won't admit that they're more afraid of failure. Success. I think it's more the abandonment of all that you know and shifting into a new understanding of what is the norm is really terrifying because the unknown is, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft said it really well. The fear of the unknown is one of the truest and deepest fears that we have as humans.
Definitely true. Definitely true. Let's see. All right, how long are we running here? I think we're going to be cutting it in a minute. Yeah, we're at that time. I guess we'll do the buy our crap segment. We're running low anyway. It's been 3 hours, dude.
Has it really? Oh, yeah, goddamn, you're right. Okay, shit. Well, yeah, I had enough fucking caffeine where I feel like it's still hour 2.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I definitely do. All right, so the Linktree link works again. So if you guys, what basically happened was we thought there must have been a glitch because they wouldn't tell me what actually went wrong, but there was a problem with my Linktree for a hot minute, and I messaged them and I didn't hear anything. We thought maybe for a little while, is it I'm being blasphemous or something? They got back to me and said that there was some error. They didn't say what. They apologized and restored everything. So my Linktree works.
D.H. Thorne is no longer too blasphemous for Linktree. Everybody unsubscribe, for he is a false pretender.
Oh, man, I can't win either way. So if you're interested, you can check out my Linktree. That's where you can buy my books. You can buy stuff from the Etsy store. You can subscribe to me on Patreon, which is in January. I will be retaking over the classes starting, I don't know exactly what day, but the beginning of January, I'll be taking the classes back over. Eddie has been scabbing for a little while because I needed some time off. But I'll be starting the classes up again where we're going to be focusing by special request on meditation for pretty much forever it's going to be meditation interspersed with the occasional info dump. So we'll be doing that alternating, something like that.
And you know, speaking of that glorious motherfucker, he gives us a nice plug. Eddie Romanov says, I bought DH's Thorne shit. What's your excuse, punks? And Jacob Dow with the super chat says, Bonne nuit, y'all. I probably disrespected my ancestors.
Y'all.
Yeah, I'm a dirty fucking American. What the fuck do you expect? I may have Acadian blood, but I'm a dirty fucking American.
Not nuit. You don't say T at the end of a French word. I don't think there's any French word that ends in T that you say. Yeah, it's a bon nuit. Thank you, Astarte. It's bon nuit. Bon nut. Bone nut. Why?
Bone nut, y'all. Yeah, bone nut,
y'all. Oh, shit. So I think Eddie's doing ritual services for people, too, although he does it. He does photographs and stuff, but he's told me, he's shown me the way he does it is he will make sure that you see, he'll text you like in the middle of it with a photo live, your name on things. So he does rituals too, if you're interested. And he's a good guy. Like I trust him. Like I know him personally, so I trust him with his method. Whereas with other people, I'd want to know them before I would trust them, if that makes sense. So check him out too. If you're curious, you can message him on our Discord, and he'll get back with you if you got interest in that. All right. So we've done the buy our crap. We've done the goofs. We've talked about stuff. We've had some fun. I want to thank you all. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you have a great time on Saturday. Or if you're Italian like I am, really it's Friday, where, you know, it's Christmas Eve for most Italians, and it's Saturday for everybody else. So if you celebrate the Christmas miracle, you know, what we like to call, you know, Amazon Day in our house. I hope you guys have a good one. If not, fuck off, do whatever it is you do, and try not to be a dick to everybody who does. New Year's Eve will be coming up soon too. What day is New Year's? Is that a Saturday or some shit? What is that?
Good question.
Yeah, that's Saturday. So we want, yeah. So, yeah. For those of you expecting Larissa Tybark, he couldn't be on yet. He's going to be on the 6th. So that's what we're penciling him in for right now, is the 6th. And I've told him, he said to me that if he can't make it, that he wants to be whipped in front of everyone. And I told him, don't get Fleshy too excited. He might appreciate it.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck. Am I that predictable? God damn it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
I told him that you'd be jealous because that's what you would want. But
fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's what you want, but
shut up. I
mean, maybe he would. I don't know. We could ask him. I don't know where.
Horse slut bitch. God damn it! I become predictable.
I don't know where he is on the rainbow, so I don't know if he's a Skittles or if he's just a straight up, you know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna whip him one way or the other.
He might be a Hershey's Kiss. I don't know. All right. Anyway, guys. So we love you all. We despise you all. Whatever it is that you deserve, we give it to you fully and completely. And we hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And Fleshy, give us the goodbye speech.
I hope, even if you don't celebrate the holiday, you enjoy being around the people that you love and that they don't fucking irritate you that much. So all of you, I thank all you glorious bastards, bitches, and non-binary witches for being with us like always every Thursday night. Mind the fucking shadows, tell your friends, warn your enemies, and bone nut, y'all.
Bone nut.